welcome back to the Wileyverse.
Oh, wow.
That is fun. I don't know why I quit doing that. I was just like, I'm done with that today.
Hi, we done with that.
Hey,
welcome back.
Yes, we are back for another.
Bandy's here too.
Bandy is back.
Bandy.
I love that she's like the land shark. You never see her.
I know, you never know. I try to
Every so
watch
often
her.
she pokes up right here every so often. Yeah.
Bandy, say hi to your fans. Huh.
Right, welcome back to the Wileyverse.
There she is.
She's
Hey,
Bandy.
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 Say hello. Look at the camera. Say. No?
No.
She said, please
People
Please
put
let
me
me
down.
down.
I don't like this.
Good catch.
We are back again for another session of the Dragonborn Salvation campaign. In this game, everyone is playing a Dragonborn, and they're trying to save their homeland.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
That's what you're trying to
That's
do.
what they...
That's what the message was. With us, we have Robert playing Rofas the Undaunted, a paladin of Bahamut.
Who just recently learned how his abilities work, so...
Watch out.
Daunted today. Yeah, watch out!
We got Mitch playing Ziranax, the Underhanded. He is a arcane trickster rogue who has spent some time amongst the other races out on ships and meeting the folks of the world. So he is a little bit more worldly than the rest of them and is kind of guiding these stuck-up Dragonborn.
I taught them how to handshake.
How to interact with the rest of the world. And Dayton is playing Savroth, the royalty, the nobility of the clan Goldath, which all of the players belong to. He is a cleric of Bahamut, a chosen, so to speak. Not a true chosen, but he has been granted abilities and maybe has been sent on a quest by said deity, or at least a deity. I am Wiley, your GM. Also, I am running Ayasa, the wizard of the group. She was trained by a Cormyrian battle mage, and that is kind of a tie-in to where they have gone first. They went to Cormyr to seek allies, and got even more enigmatic messages. So I guess we should get everyone caught up. The Dragonborn come from Tyrminther, a land that is contested by the Untherites. The Untherites are kind of anti-demi-human humans that want to eradicate or enslave anyone that is not human and get them out of their lands, what they see as their land. This includes the Dragonborn that have settled upon those lands when Unther was taken away from the land. But the Untherites are back. They're conquering their land back from the Dragonborn, and the Dragonborn have been pushed to the sea and are in desperate times. The group here had a strange messenger at the Midsummer Festival, well, at least Savroth did, and he has now undertaken a quest to go find allies and protect or save the homeland of the Dragonborn from its various enemies, including the Untherites. But as they have reached Cormyr, they learned that there might be a larger threat looming. A chalice that is tied to the evil dragons has been stolen, and it might be used to try to free Tiamat from her prison in the Nine Hells.
I didn't know that. I don't want to fight Tina.
I don't either, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
I'm just learning that right now.
You were here the entire session last time.
You're drinking water.
Just joking.
So
It's just your next. What? Why do they call him underhanded? He runs.
while the war mages of Cormyr, or this particular war mage, tries to hunt down that goblet and thwart his nemesis, which are the members of the cult of the dragon. He has sent our Dragonborn emissaries on the next leg of their journey, which is the Pinion. The Pinion is this massive stone mount. Like, it is not just a mountain. It is much, much more. It is a landmark in this territory. It is huge. It is sheer. It is unbreakable.
It looks odd too, right?
Yeah, it is like mountains. Like think of the Matterhorn. Like you've seen the Matterhorn, right? You know the tip of the Matterhorn is really steep. Imagine if it's all like that.
Yeah.
The entire thing. It just looks like a big stone spike in the earth.
Tight and it drew
and like
It's like New Mexico, like step or like a mesa, but really
high and pointy.
Pointy too. Okay.
Yep. And the next mountain, the next highest mountain in the mountain range that it is in is like a quarter of its size. This thing pierces up through the clouds and everything.
And it probably has foothills.
And they had discovered by Tolan, the Cormyrean battle wizard, who is a diviner and a seeker, that this monument isn't from this world. It is actually from the world that Dragonborn are from. It's from Abir. And it may have something to do with going back to the original dragon gods and titans fighting. And what he has tasked them to do, and what the quest of this group has now become, is to crack the secrets of the Pinion. You're supposed to go there and see what it has, what it holds inside of it, and if it can be used to defeat Tiamat if she should be summoned to this mortal plane.
We shall prove worthy to find out these sorts of things. My only question is, I can't remember, because I forgot my notebook last time. I can't remember where Tolan and Adra Helmborn were off to. Were they going to get the chalice back?
Yes.
Okay.
So, sort of. They are dealing with the chalice.
Okay.
And the chalice is specifically thought to have been stolen for, I can't remember, the Chesentians?
Yes.
Chesetians. They're a nation that allied themselves with Unther, and they're very closely tied. But there's a city-state in Chesentia or Chesentia, I don't know how to pronounce it. These are all made-up words, called Erebos.
Erebos, yes.
Yeah.
This is totally real. Stop.
Right. Called Erebos, that worships openly Tiamat and is probably behind the theft of the chalice and the attempt to resummon Tiamat. So, any other questions?
Where is Erebos in relation to where we are now?
It is on the southern, so you're way up here in Cormyr, back down in your homeland, Tirminther, Unther, Chesentia, so it's back down here.
Okay.
But it's on the southern shores of the Inner Sea. So, it kind of like, if you were to cross from Cormyr south, you would hit Westgate, and then you'd have to go east, and you'd run into Erebos.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more inland. It's pretty far away. It's a remote. It's not anywhere near where you're going for the Pinion.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Tolan, that level stuff, that chalice, that artifact, is some pretty high-level stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got that impression. That's wait, you just had... I kept asking, you just had this thing that could summon the Tiamat?
One day, one day,
right there?
just sitting right there. One day you'll hear the story of Tolan and the Doom of the Five Winds. That is an entire another campaign, and if Scott's watching, and I don't think he is, Tolan is his character, by the way.
Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah.
I thought Tolan was a place.
Tolan is that diviner.
Just in case he's watching.
I want to know why the Gold Dragonborn is seeking out Tolan.
You do. Okay, check.
Yeah.
You got that?
little inside joke, folks. Pay no attention.
Right.
This isn't for you.
This
This
is
is for us.
three rolls.
So at the end of the night, you're at the 3 Stories Inn in Braden's Downs after you have visited Tolan in his tower. He has sent you, off on your quest, and he is preparing for his own adventure. But at the end of the night, Ayasa, you'd bought 2 rooms between you. Ayasa stands up and says, "I am going to spend the night wrapped in ink and parchment, and hopefully
entirely uncomfortable."
with
Rofrus would say.
with the morning, wake up more enlightened than the sun." And she leaves.
Parchment. No.
Rofrus will still stand. That sounds entirely uncomfortable. Are you sure?
I am sure.
For the mother for this is the total you. This is when you went to Cormyr to train under the Purple Dragons. This is your tutor.
Yes.
He's a very clever... Is that why you talk so strangely? Are you trying to sound as clever as that man?
I think words always sounded like this.
I shall make a note of that. Very well. Well, enjoy your ink. Try not to drown.
So she leaves.
Okay.
The rest of you can spend your night at the 3 stories. The 3 stories or the 4 stories?
Three stories. Yeah.
And in the morning, nothing crazy happens. Thanks for the background noise. By the way, I'm going to try to get my speakers out of my room and hook them up to the computer, so I can set up the sound, the tabletop RPG sound.
Oh, like directly through
so it'll just be constantly. Like, either that or we have to get.
Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting about that.
DJ Magic Dragon.
Do you want me to remind you? Is this the thing you want to do? Or?
Either way. So you guys sleep through the night. It's very serene. The lapping of the lake onto the shores. There's a couple of night birds that have a particularly wonderful song.
How's it go?
It's whistly almost, but like deep and low, and they just kind of like hoot, like just.
Yeah. We don't get that back home.
No. No, you just get seagulls. You're on the.
Yeah.
You're right there on the ocean.
Oh, seagulls.
Yeah, screeching.
Mine.
In the morning, you go down to the. You can go to the outside patio that's overlooking the lake. That's on the lake, and their breakfast are these large eggs, and they're called steamed eggs. So they're essentially hard boiled, large in a cup. You see the other people how they eat them.
Oh Lord,
like this.
Oh, we're not eating our babies, are we?
So no. They bring you out each one of these eggs in its own little cup holder thing with a spoon, and then you get another plate, and there's a bread loaf for the table that's cut up, and then they put down dishes of spices, or not spices, herbs, like fresh ground herbs, salt, pepper, and a couple sure. Point it away from the microphone. We can all hear it. I just don't want it direct send. And herbs, like crushed up herbs, and a couple of different like oils and sauces. And you see other people. They crack the egg around and they open that up, and they'll take a knife and they'll just cut a piece of the egg and smear it on the toast, and then they sprinkle and dish out some of the herbs and the oils onto that part of the toast, and they'll eat it. Or the bread, and they'll eat that portion.
I'm personally a little iffy with eggs, but Xernax is a sailor, so he's like...
I started telling Xernax a story about how many seagull eggs we had to eat, waiting for ambushes on the coast.
I suddenly look like I didn't get enough sleep.
One day I'm going to make a binging with Babish style
Just
show and I'm going to try to make all of the stuff that I make up in my games.
Oh yeah.
You should.
I thought you were just going to like for an hour describe D&D food and we were going to interact to it.
No, like I'm going to I just made this up and I made the fluffy potato stuff. Like
I really would like to eat
Then the next week, I would try to or during that week, the next day, I would be at the kitchen. Now we're gonna try to make the fluffy potatoes. Like,
oh man, can I be like your idiot kitchen helper?
So
I said garlic, cheese grater.
Ayasa comes in. She comes straight in, sits down, grabs a piece of bread, and just starts munching on it.
How was your ink?
It was exquisite.
Really? Do we not have the... Is there knowledge? There must be knowledge here. I imagine there's knowledge here that you can't get back home, but is it that different?
And there's knowledge everywhere. And if you stay in one place, it'll never come to you.
Write anything interesting?
Ah, yes. The very fabric of reality can come undone.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Is it wool or is it... This fabric of reality, I hear this in many tales.
It's a weave.
A weave.
If you know how to pluck it, it does what you want.
That sounds sexual.
I shall begin tipping my seamstresses.
They know more about life than you would care to give them credit for.
I had an argument once, and you said, "Do you tip the seamstresses?"
So,
I'm sorry.
It's like, we all
is there anything
the
else
ball rolling.
specific that you want to do in this town?
Not yet.
You've asked around about Shade Rest and
Yeah.
Opinion and a couple of things, and people have told you what they know.
Are Tolan and Adra already gone, or
You don't know. I mean, you could go back
Yeah.
and find out. From what you gather, Yasa went and stayed at the tower last night. Whether Tolan was there or not, who knows? But since, we should say this, they've all leveled now. They are now 4th level. Yasa, that's how she gained her 2 new spells as she went. And,
yeah? Oh, I see. I see.
I feel like we've gained all the information we're going to get from this town from the people that can't give us any information. It might be time to move on.
Yeah, there might be some weird questions I might want to ask Adra, but other than that, yeah.
What do you think? You want to talk to Adrian? Move along.
No, she's.
Is Adra still here?
You don't know.
We'd
We
You'd
don't
have to
know.
go back.
I wouldn't mind seeking her out. She is a divine agent of the helm. We are on a holy quest of a god that we don't know very well. She might have some pertinent advice I could.
Well, she doesn't know him either.
That's a pretty good point, honestly. Very well. I'm ready to go.
All right. Can we get some traveling music? Are you on a
No, it's just D&D.
tabletop audio?
Oh, we have our onyx horses.
You do.
Do
You have
have
onyx
onyx
orders,
horses?
so I want to make a very clear clarification for rules lawyers out there. They are not obsidian chargers, which is a figurine of wondrous power. These are onyx chargers, a little bit different. You would not like the obsidian chargers are nightmares,
Oh.
and they only come up. You can only come up for 8 hours every
Have you
5
played
days.
Dread?
But they have a chance to attack good aligned players if they're trying to ride them.
Okay.
So these are onyx chargers. They only work for a specific amount of time, and they pretty much only run. Like they can walk, they can run, but you point them in the direction they go. They can't help you in combat at all. They can't maneuver. They just have a forward, a speed setting, and a reverse, and that's it.
Did Tolan explain this to us?
No,
Did they have
he
like
did
an
not.
instruction manual?
They did not.
These-
You find
You
that
gotta
out
find
over
out
the
the-
next several days
Yeah, like,
as you're
whoa!
traveling.
Are mounts considered equipment?
These things are because they are figurines of wondrous power.
Okay, so maybe other-
But you'd have to custom make it.
Yeah.
So I tried to add them in earlier to
That's
your
okay.
stuff.
If that's the case,
I
then
also
we're-
added your bag. It's called the Bag of Hiding.
The one that he gave us?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a bag of holding that also is proof against scrying. So
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
you're supposed to put whatever you find in the pinion into there.
Because I did right. Tolan gives us an unscriable bag. Of
Yep.
holding.
So
You know that he expects something. He expects us we might find something that could fit in that little satchel.
yeah, I mean that thing can open up pretty big.
Yeah?
But, like,
Okay.
who knows what you're gonna find in this place?
Oh, nobody knows.
Right. So you head out from Braden's Downs. Braden's Downs. It's a long and lonesome road up to pretty much the countryside that is north of Cormyr and really untamed, unsettled. Just travelers and caravans that want to try to make their way, cut some days off, and not take more traditional routes. Things come down from the mountains, stuff comes up from the swamps, and no kingdom has sway there, so it can be dangerous. It's a kind of a lawless land.
Probably not a lot of King's patrols going through this place. Huh?
Yeah, there's nobody. There's like the Dalelands. Once you get closer to the Dalelands will send people out here because they get heavily from the farmers. Like the farmers there, you can't grow farmlands of food in a forest.
Yeah.
And that's what the Daylands pretty much all is.
Yeah.
So they get a lot of food from this area, so they'll protect the farmlands near them, but for the most part it's just wilderness. When you see people on the road, it's a much different feel than... Yeah, there's no one. That's last week's conversation.
That was last week. I was going to say, like, damn, that's quick. That's a lot of people.
So... What you get a much different feel than you have when you were in Cormyr going up this direction, because everyone was pretty friendly, everyone waved at you and did all that stuff. The moment you're out of Cormyr, you know, like the first caravan you see in the distance, they send their guards forward to see who you are. And they're fine with you once that is, but you're getting much colder, much more cautious because
right. That's what I was going to ask. Is it colder or is it more cautious?
It's much once you're like, oh, okay, you're adventurers and whatever, they still okay, we got to go, bye. They don't stop and do anything with you, but everyone is much more cautious, and you're not seeing many travelers. You're lucky to see 2 a day. As the days go on in this journey,
Lawless land.
It's normally they're pretty big caravans, or if they're a small caravan, they're really well guarded because they've got something important that they're transporting through this line. It's guards have, from what you've seen in other caravans and merchants and travelers like that.
Do they have,
it's almost doubled or tripled the amount of guards that you'll see with these because they're coming through lands that aren't protected.
These, what would you call this general area? There's really not a name for it. Do these caravans we see, do we see a lot of, they have flags or banners or anything like that?
Yeah, they'll have Merchant Guild.
Yeah.
Merchant Guild. Some of them, not many of them are from countries or cities.
Not a lot of nationals.
Not a lot of nationals.
Okay.
It's mainly the merchants that are coming through here. So it's merchant houses and guilds and
So does this road look less traveled because of that? So it's rougher.
It's rougher. There's a lot more overgrowth. The forest encroaches a lot closer in places. Yeah. So about
would be
day...
a good place to build a trade city, I think.
About day 3, you're sleeping off the road, I'm assuming. You have your normal, watches. You're being cautious out here. But it is pretty vacant and open. And, you need you to make a wisdom check.
Hey, it's okay.
Is that a... Oh, okay. Okay, oh golly, this is my old sheet. You didn't have to print.
I did not print the new sheet.
Okay,
I can...
but I didn't raise my wisdom, I know that. So that's going to be a 15.
Okay.
For straight wisdom, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm going to explain something to him. When you hear it, if he talks about it, you're going to have a sense of deja vu as if you had seen it too. But you don't remember seeing it. Okay. Just a sense of that. So you have a dream, the 3rd night on the road. And you're, everything is dark in the dream, and there's thunder and, kind of flashes of light around you. And then you realize that you're flying. And you're getting buffeted by wind and rain and water, and there's a storm. And you start to break through the storm, and the clouds start to get lighter and clearer and more fluffy, and behind you the storm is just swelling, and you dip down and you break through the clouds, and you see sunlight come over a green basin, just green forests, a river, a basin, and then there's this palace, this massive kingdom in front of you, and it just your heart just kind of swells seeing this. You've gotten out of the storm, you know you're safe, this place is safe, and the storm is behind you now. You feel that this is where you needed to go. And then you wake up, you open your eyes, and the sunlight's coming down on another clear day up on this trail. but you can still feel the wind and wings, which you don't even have.
I was gonna ask, was like, am I flying like myself?
It felt like it was
something?
you yourself.
Okay. And this palace looked like what?
It was shining, like it looked like it was silver.
Okay.
It was massive, huge, like the tallest spires were reaching the clouds, and it just spread out underneath and all across the northern end of this basin. And like there's a town and all this stuff, and you saw flags and regalia, but too far away to pinpoint what colors and all that other stuff was. But
sorry.
Right?
So.
As an aside, physics.
And then the music stops.
Dun, 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 and you wake up.
I don't know about you folks, but I feel like I might be possibly coming on a premonition that I can't even possibly imagine in my full sight.
Only when he says.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I feel very prepared to hear such. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. So we wake up, and I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. Whoever is in the last of the watch is awake and preparing food for everyone.
We haven't really talked about watches at all.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll take the darkest.
Because I imagine way rests are probably less common out here.
No, there is none.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're pretty much been staying in your little camp off the side of the road every night. So
Do we have tents?
No,
we have
I think just bedrolls.
Sleeping gear, yeah, bedrolls.
Bedrolls and pillows. So 4 watches. What is the watch order? Ayasa and him probably want first and last.
Yeah, it would make sense for him to have first, just so he looks like he's in charge. I also to go last so she can make breakfast.
Well,
I would probably take some.
so she can start. So she can start preparing her spells, which takes an hour.
I got the soldier background. I'll probably take like a really middle watch. That's kind of like because I'm trained to know how to wake up and then go back to sleep afterwards.
It's him, then you follow him.
Okay.
Then you wake up him, and you shoot, and he wakes up Ayasa.
Yeah,
and this
1,
is
2, 3, 4.
This is another thing. Let's discuss marching order now too. So in any general case, like you guys can like ride 4 abreast or whatever. But if you're 4 across or you're 4 in a single file, what are those stance orders?
First.
So I just know. So you're up front because you're scouting.
Row first.
Then you, then Ayasa, or then Ayasa, then you.
The rear is an important spot. That does get attacked sometimes.
I would probably be fourth, and Ayasa would be
So Ayasa, if you're 4 across, is it you in the middle, and Ayasa and Zeronax on the ends?
I think if we're 4 abreast, you guys should protect your friends a little bit.
Yeah, I think me and him would be on the ends.
Yeah.
They would be on the center.
All right. So
I like it.
you wake up after having that dream. If you care to discuss it or not, leave it as is. It is the most vivid dream you've had yet since leaving. Since leaving DJ Erad and Chimere. Gerard Chimere. Or, Timer.
I guess I would probably, obviously, after a dream like that, I'd be like,
My lord!
Yas looks over.
I just had the strangest dream. Like I was flying through a storm, out of the storm, heading to what seemed to be a silver palace.
A silver palace? You say?
Yes.
What?
Silver or chromatic white?
Yeah, was it quite, could you say the opacity of it? Or it could be white gold. So...
It's too far away in the dream to see where we sit here right now.
Describe the quality of shimmering.
So you said it kicks off something.
Yeah, like you
for me.
feel like as he speaks, you almost feel like you can see it too, or you have seen it.
Oh man. Well, I say exactly that, and this sounds as dumb as that would sound. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, my lord.
Like an image so clear when he talks about this palace, just comes into your mind.
Oh. I believe this means. Oh, surely we must be on the right path. We are soaring ever forward to something. Are you alright? How do you feel? Do you feel good or do you feel ominous?
I feel fine.
Good.
I feel so ominous.
Dreams are just someone else's reality. Maybe ours, future or past.
I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I appreciate the aside. Yasa.
Yasa the crazy.
Fucking lunatic.
So you begin your day. You eat your trail rations. Set out. Ayasa makes sure she prestidigitations some flavor into all the food, and she always whatever the trail ration is, just some basic whatever. She makes it taste like a meal from your home every morning. Like she'll spice it in a certain way. We're like, oh, this tastes like
Dried human baby.
this certain fish, blah blah blah, feast that we have every year.
So she's doing a good job at her job. Which is why she got the last watch, according to
To start breakfast?
Our GM likes to write breakfasts. He likes to make meals. I wasn't doing it. It came
It's
out
not a woman thing.
It came out super
No,
sexy.
that's not a one of the things.
It's the fat guy thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
This is all going wrong.
You guys.
Join us next week at
Hey, yeah.
So you guys
Got marching
start
orders here.
hiding or riding off. You get on your Onyx Chargers and
Feels very World of Warcraft. Like I just like
Summon.
it's like yeah.
and you're riding. No need. Well, let's make perception checks. Let's do it. Let's see who hears it first.
Roll that.
Not you. Oh.
Let's get my natural.
Oh, man.
I got a natural one.
He's really good at this rolling.
Got
thing.
16.
Just might as well waste them on perceptions rather than attack.
Yeah, right.
Perception is based off wisdom, and since mine went up a plus, it's
You think you saw
Correct.
something. You think you
sorry, I
see some
should've just
Utherites
looked
and
at
you
it.
lead us
What
off
the hell?
course?
Yeah, okay.
Probably.
14.
14.
Natural one.
Oh God.
16.
It's always good to hear that from
He's like,
Oh,
I
God.
think there's something in the bushes.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta look at the book for this one.
And also, real quick, what are everyone's languages? Everyone has Common. Everyone has Draconic. Anything else?
I think that's it.
No, as long as I know is we have Old Draconic and we have modern.
You have
Or-
Elvish.
I
Okay.
do.
Oh.
Because he's a
Anyone
noble.
else? Oh, I have an intelligence modified of 0, so I probably just speak.
Well, it'd all be normally you get that from your background. So
Oh, I see.
I don't think
Are
soldier
you
had to
talking
be
about
extra.
in the game, or?
Oh.
What do you think you got?
Ooh,
mister?
sicky bud.
Is that a challenge of wits?
All right.
I accept.
So
Beard plus 3.
your one is going to counteract Ayasa's natural 20.
No.
So you two are trading
We're the two perceptive ones.
yeah, right.
We're looking
You're
at
trading.
these two.
You're trading rhymes. You start doing the Fezig Inigo Montoya, where you just start talking back and forth and have to rhyme the last words.
It sounds like a
It's a sailor thing. It's a weird wizard, crazy chick thing. So you two are doing that, so you don't hear crap. Neither of you do.
I hear something
So
in the trees. That's where I
16,
got
right?
peas.
Yeah.
You got a 14
I had
units.
14.
So
This isn't a joke.
16.
You
You
said
you hear it first over these two talking, trying to limerick and rhyme each other. You're like, and you kind of ride up a little bit ahead, and you hear a person in distress yelling,
Whoa. Whoa. Hear that? I hear trouble.
Anybody want a peanut?
That
I don't
doesn't
think
even
you have
rhyme.
time to eat it. I don't remember the exact rhymes, but I can.
Let's make it double.
What is this, Pokemon? Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was actually for the time. It was pretty fantasy humor.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I pointed that out. I was like, sure. Do you hear that? Hold.
so when everyone's quiet, everyone can hear someone yelling out like he's. It sounds like a man's voice. It sounds like they're in distress.
And it's up the road farther.
Yep.
So can I hop off my horse and go into the woods around the edge like I usually do?
Sure.
I'll look ahead, sirs.
Let's split the party.
Do we have
I'm
that?
supposed to look ahead.
Do we have time? We should.
We can storm it.
Storm it.
up to you.
So
We have our honest charges.
obviously, because he asked, like, so are they speaking a language none of us understand?
It
Or
sounds.
is it hard to tell?
It's hard to tell.
It sounds like
It's so
struggle.
far away. You can't even like this road just goes kind of on and on and on. Like there's some bends and curves, but you're not seeing anything on the road ahead of you. So it's obviously around this curve up ahead or whatever have you.
So you can send me ahead and I'll scout around, or we can just charge it to save time.
Well, both. You
Someone
can-
is in distress.
someone's in distress. We should act now. You should go flank.
I was like, yeah, you can go flank if you'd like. But we
What,
were...
do you want me to flank or just stick with the crew? I'm more useful. I flank. I'll flank.
Are you getting off your horse?
I have to go into the woods, right? No, I'll stay on the horse. I'll stay on the horse.
And just ride the edge of the woods?
Yeah.
Okay. Because again, like I said, this
We're
thing
gonna be
isn't very maneuverable. You
Yeah.
can't... Like, you can ride it through woods, but it's difficult.
Well, we're also making noise as we're.
Oh, then
Galloping
I'll
boys.
fall back, and if it turns out being something ridiculous, I'll get in and do the thing. But otherwise, I can
So,
help out.
you three start riding up. You pull off and start hugging the forest line. As you ride up and around the corner, around this bend, you see something off in the tall grass that's between the road and the forest next to you. And there's this big hunch of a thing, and then there's something in the grass, and you see like the stick coming out at it, and then you see 4 things like fluttering around it. And as you get closer, it's like there's this beast attacking someone that's on the ground, and there's 4 birds like messing with the beast.
Okay.
And that's like, again, it's like you're still pretty far off and you're getting a little bit more information the closer and closer you get. At this point, you could hear that the person on the ground sounds like an old man. And he's yelling out for help, and he's going in and out of a language you don't understand. So it's like, get this, is there anyone? And the thing that's over top of him is like yelling at him or responding in a language that sounds very similar to what he is saying. And it's all like, and as you're coming up, the moment like the charger's hooves are heard by this thing, it kind of like backs up, like takes a snap at a couple of those things that are flying overhead, and like looks over at you, and you just see this wolf hyena like face like peek up out of the grass, this big hunch, like it's this beast, like, and it runs off into the forest.
What birds do?
And the birds like to start, like they chase it for a little bit, but then they stop and come back, and they're like fluttering over the ground where that person is probably laying. And he's like, oh, okay, is that someone coming? There's someone there.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Oh!
And you
Yes, obviously.
get off the horse and head over to this patch of grass.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you stride over there as your horse shrinks and you put it in the pocket.
Little horse.
And you walk up into the grass over this, and there's this old man, like, just on the ground, on his back. He's got this just big gnarled wood staff, walking stick, essentially. And he's like, who's there? And he's got long beard, wrinkled face. He's in robes, like a full robe that looked like it was probably blue at one point, like a light blue. Now it just looks gray. It's just so worn. He's like, who's there? Who's there? These four birds, like they're little canaries, and they're like swooping around you, like almost like they're defending him.
Right. I say we are emissaries of the clan Goldath. We heard the cries for us help. We came to see what the problem was.
The problem is those wargs. Scared off my horse. I think I broke my hip.
Are you hurt?
Yes.
Did the wargs ride off into the forest?
The warg that was here ran off into the forest.
On the side that I'm at?
Yes. You can just message him if you want to do something, and he can reply.
So, I think I might be able to track it and see where it went.
Do that then.
So,
well, they're messaging each other. I'll kind of lay on hands. Like,
how much you give him?
I'm gonna give him 5 just to see.
He takes it all, and he's like, "Oh." He still looks like he can't stand up.
I help him up.
Okay. You help him up, and
I've given you all the hit points I'm giving you.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, is he bleeding? Is he?
No, his hip is probably broken.
Oh. Well, shit, I'll give him all of it then.
Okay, he takes it all 20, and he's like, "Oh, no, that's the stuff. Oh, it has been years since I've received divine healing. Oh." And he reaches up, just like leans on you, like you just help him up, and he staggers.
It's like this old man has more hit points than I do.
Favor, and think nothing of it.
Okay, guys. All right. Sorry if they're bothering you. All right. He opens up his sleeve, and the 4 canaries just go whoop, 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 to his sleeve. So they're really protective, not very effective, but their hearts are in the right place. Thank you so much for where's Goldmane?
Goldmane?
My horse.
Oh, I did not see any. Oh,
No.
Did you see the horse?
No, or sound.
Oh, there's more of you.
This is Lord Savroth of Clan Goldath. We're here on a quest to the north. Like, are you from here? We didn't see any villages around here since we left.
Braden's Downs.
Braden's Downs. I say, says I.
No. I'm from Neverwinter now. This is a long and lonesome road you probably have seen. I won't make it very far without my horse. You've helped me so far. I hate to ask you more.
You should.
Yeah. Could you find my horse and retrieve it for me? Those wargs, they chased it into the forest.
Well, this thing's already hurt you already. Do you know these wargs? Are they predators that just hunted you down?
Do you know these wargs?
I don't know. I've never met a warg.
What? They're wargs!
I don't
Roll for us his first question.
Yeah.
Do you know this blank?
Do you know this blank? How do you know these blank?
It's a magical world. You never know.
They're my
Wargs are
uncles.
evil
These
hyena wolf creatures that serve goblins.
These wargs
They
are my
attacked this old man on the road.
They're my brother-in-laws.
Which direction did they head in?
He points like, well, just where that other one just ran off to. It's probably going to grab him. He was taunting me while I was on the ground.
We could probably track them, no problem. Do you know where Zyrax is?
He should be tracking the one that ran off as we speak.
Excellent. Of course.
Go ahead.
We can look into it.
Is it perception?
It would be...
Investigation.
It depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to find tracks? Or are you trying to listen? Or are you trying to...
Well, I heard it run off, so I guess...
It's survival if you want to like track it like a hunter. It's perception if you want to try to hear it or find where it's going.
That way.
Yeah.
So 22.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it running off through the woods, breaking stuff, but even more so, distantly in the woods, you hear more of the guttural, growly sounds of probably more of these wargs, and also the neighing of a horse.
So I probably going to think, Savrath, I hear the beast and its fellows. And possibly a horse.
Possibly a horse.
Well, that seems to be our current priority at the moment. So lead us to this area.
Are you talking to me, my lord?
Right.
He's not even moving his lips.
Oh.
So you guys can head off into the forest, meet up with Xernax, and head right to where this thing is. The closer you get, the harder it is to screw this up.
Yeah.
There's about 4 wargs at least, and a horse that's in distress. When you come upon the scene, so the horse has been backed up against kind of like a dirt rise. Its legs and haunches have been bitten and snapped at, so they're like its hind quarters is just slick with blood, and it's like dipping, and it's sitting there and it's trying to like fin them off, and there's 4 wargs in front of it, and they're all like coming in at different angles, different times, just tiring it out and waiting for it to drop so they can have their meal.
Yeah.
And you can hear them communicating with each other.
That's why I asked. It sounded like they were talking. Yeah.
So like it is obvious that they are speaking a language in a guttural snap voice to each other.
Before we headed off, I probably would have told the old man to come with us, because no sense in him staying here by himself. Like,
he says that he's like, I'm just gonna sit down here. It doesn't matter if you don't bring back the horse, and it doesn't matter for me anyway. I'll just slow you down. So he just plops down on the waddles over the road and plops down into like a cross-legged stance as you guys went in.
It's fine. The horse is obviously clear meal. When we return from, we're not, my lord. We shall move with alacrity.
You wanted to keep him in.
I wanted to translate.
Oh, yeah. No.
Plus, I don't know, there could be more wargs around here. He could die by himself.
It's his own foolish choice.
We come back with the horse. Hey, damn it.
Yeah. Looks like we got a new horse.
No, he is pretty damn old.
We'll
And
ask the word questions.
probably.
I'll ride back.
We'll translate.
I'll message you, and then I'll ride back.
Sounds like a great plan.
Alright, so
it could
these
work.
4 wargs have not heard, smelled, or seen you, as they are pretty intent on their prey, and you are coming up behind them. You guys have the first round on them.
Savrath, I have a clear shot.
Take it.
First, I don't have to roll initiative for this, right?
Nope.
This is kind of like a surprise
24.
attack sort of deal.
This is a surprise round.
Prize tag 24.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Glad their armor class isn't 25. So
Music.
oh, that's right.
This one has a goblin on it, but this is a ward.
That's a meaty wolf. All right. But the ones from the Hobbit.
9 damage.
With sneak attack?
Yeah, wasn't a very good roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit it though.
I did hit it. I stuck it real hard right below the knee in a very bony spot. It's like, ow.
So you hit it for 9.
I guess whichever one was closest.
Yeah.
Should he get inspiration for his underhand as all flanking and sneaking? Do you want us to?
I am going to give you inspiration for healing, spending all of your lay on hands for the old man.
What a guy. What a guy.
Paladin.
What a guy.
This fucking guy.
This guy.
Sorry, are we not swearing on this channel? I don't know.
No, it's adult. So
Alright. Hey everybody, fuck y'all. Thanks for watching.
It is. Before you can get here, you have to say, "I'm okay with swearing," or "I'm at least 18."
Oh, okay.
And then it's a not safe for work.
So we
channel.
can-
we start every game with me being like, "Oh, it's the first time I saw my dad get a nipple pierced," like shit like that. That's obviously.
I have discovered that all of that like it's the perfect amount of time you saying that stuff for none of that to be in the stream. Like nothing that you have said. Like normally it's just like the last word will be on the stream.
The
But
stories
speaking
this
of
guy
which,
tells.
before we get into this combat, I got off my lazy ass, and the entirety of the previous D&D campaign is now on YouTube.
Our old D&D.
All right.
Your old D&D, all the
You
way to
mentioned
the
that.
all the way up to the total party kill is down below.
I guess
Also, we have decided to give up our Tuesdays for the time being, as some people have gone back to school and other stuff has come up. So we have called off the Rifts game that's on Tuesdays, but the entirety of that up until the final episode where they've met Praxis, or Praxis was seen, is also online. And after today, hopefully tomorrow or Friday, I will get all of this campaign up on the YouTube channel.
I thought you were going to say the original riffs. I'm like, oh, wait, we didn't film that.
So, I almost I should have started my OBS on my other computer and recorded our 40K sessions.
Yeah.
But
It's okay. It's fun not to stream everything.
we didn't have to stream it, just record it.
Oh.
So I could put up bits and pieces.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a surprise round. All of you guys get to go or do whatever you want.
I am going
He's
to.
already gone.
He's already gone. Yeah.
I asked you had a clear shot.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
And I'll let Rofrus go.
Okay.
The road fast is going to start striding up. He's going to start striding up there. He gets us his hammer, and he pulls up his hammer, and he's going to start
Losing his
channeling
initiative.
divinity into it. It says you, and he's going to bark. He's just going to bark at these horses. So he says,
Bark at these horses?
"Yeah, I mean these
Wargs.
wargs." He's going to bark at these
He
wargs.
said barks at our horses.
Like, what?
This is not your meal! He cries out to him.
Okay.
And I channel divinity into my my efforts with the
Sacred weapon?
sacred weapon. Yeah.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Ooh. Let's see. Oh, you're so fucking scared.
Oh, now I roll poorly. 6, but I'm skilled in intimidation. Plus 6, so 12.
12. Okay.
It's kind of
It's
scary.
not bad. And they all turn to you, so
It's
Good.
loud. Yeah, it's definitely loud.
I wanted them to stop biting the horse.
yeah. So turn around.
And now my hammer is glowing with lights.
Platinum light.
Yeah.
Oh,
20-foot radius.
what are you doing?
Whoa.
Andy, I know you're looking at me. What am I doing? That's the question.
What am I not doing?
I'm just curious. I wasn't sure if we all had the same stuff. Sorry, your inspiration. Look at that stack of spells.
I guess. I don't know.
It's our sneak attack round. Do whatever does most damage. Get it out of the way.
Or prep. If you want to do
Well,
sacred armors or anything like that
before I
stuff.
kind of told him to go whatever, I'd be like, oh, let me bless everyone real quick so y'all have a D4 added to your attack rolls.
Asking you would have been plenty.
He already
I would have had my bow
Yeah,
ready.
I know,
and
that's why I was
everything.
like, he already hit, so I'm not really that worried.
Plus stays though. That continues on.
Right, but he can start that next round.
Mm-hmm.
I could, the person that just got all their attention, I could Shield of Faith you.
That way you don't have to concentrate on it, and you can use a concentration slot for one of your other spells.
Mm.
Just because at this moment, you're enemy number one
We're still
Yep.
magical.
Yeah.
coming out and yelling at him.
We're still magical.
I got
Everyone.
you. I got you, my
Not a
lord.
single person in this group does not have spells.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're still magical this time.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the Dragonborn. I like the magical aspect of it.
Mhm.
Like you're all chosen somehow. Perfect.
I almost kind of just want to already use one of my new abilities.
Go for it. Why not?
This
Well, they're just wargs. What are they gonna do?
is a
Bite
little,
us?
Now-
like I literally snuck us in for a
I will say
round.
that for command, they do have to understand it.
That's fine. I wasn't going to use it. I kind of want to use enhance ability.
You got command?
You got command.
I love this spell.
Enhance ability, just doesn't do what it used to in the old edition.
Oh no!
The bull strength. It gives ability. It gives advantage on checks, and then something else. But the checks don't apply to combat. So if you give you bull strength, it doesn't apply to damage or attack rolls.
I see. Yeah.
But it gives you advantage on all strength checks.
Okay.
And the con one is the best. The bull's
Bear's
Bear's endurance plus 2d6 temporary hit points.
Plus 2d6?
Yeah, just a big beefy shield.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You get 12.
That's like half your hit points again if you get
Yeah.
So I think I'll actually do that to Robert.
All right.
And give him the
Yeah.
Oh, Bear's endurance. Well, so now you have a advantage on fortitude on Constitution checks,
Ugh.
and you're getting
I believe
10
that's 10.
10 temporary hit points.
10 temporary hit points. Now, I'm sorry, you can look it up on my phone, because you did the level ups on D&D
Yeah.
Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had 44.
You have 45 now.
45. And so now I have 45 and 10 temporary hit points.
Yeah, there's a marker
46.
about your temporary stuffing.
Yeah, so you have 46.
Don't do that.
Yeah. You need to get the plastic thing. You have 46 hit points max now, so you have
Last time you wrote all his temporary
56.
stuff in pen, he was writing his damage in pen. I'm like, that's pen.
Alright. Ready. I had 16, so now I have 17 AC with my new dexterity.
Did you increase your dexterity?
Yeah, I did it. Dexterity and Constitution.
And does your chain use that much?
Chain doesn't. That's only a +2 modifier. I imagine chainmail's okay with that. Because I remember now.
What's your armor class right now?
My armor class right now is 16.
It's still 16 with your +1 dex over here.
Well, I have a +2 dex now, though.
No, it's still 16.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at your sheet right now.
Oh, okay.
And with you have a 14 dex now with that +1.
Yeah, I have a 14 dexterity now.
Still have 16
Yeah,
AC.
Oh, is
So-
chainmail? Is this a +1 only allowed?
It's only like half dex or something like that.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's fine. Whatever. It'll help for throwing javelins, that's for sure.
Yes.
Or no, that's still strength, actually, isn't it?
It's
Because it's a throw, not a missile
I don't know.
or projectile. I guess is the word.
Equipment. I'm gonna look up your.
I love this part of D&D. I'm glad we're filming this part too. The copious amounts of
The talking
rules
discussion is
referencing
Yeah.
and
That's a big part of it.
it is a big part of it. It really is. A lot. I watch some streams too, and a lot of people cut this stuff out because the people just want to see the action. No, this is real D&D, guys.
Yeah, you gotta have the crunch in there as
I'm gonna
well.
look up.
So you read that percentage you sent to us not too long ago. It was saying it was like something like
He did
7.
it.
It was like something like 77% of people said they don't mind some of the rule involvement.
Yeah. Armor. So chainmail is heavy armor, so it gets no dex.
I get no dex.
Yeah, it's just
it's just straight.
it's just straight the armor class of the
Straight
armor.
16.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because it is
it's chain shirt.
Yep.
I was looking at. So dexterity doesn't really do anything for me. Oh, and I'm at a disadvantage for stealth checks.
Correct.
Because it's heavy armor.
No.
That used to be medium armor. Interesting.
well,
Alright.
chain shirt is the medium. Chain mail.
Right, chain shirt. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
I need some plate. Oh, I miss adamantium though.
Right,
Never
and
mind.
even you'd have been worse off in a chain shirt. You'd have had a 14 before and a 15 now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
So-
I'll find a use for that dexterity some way or another. I'm happy with it.
Right.
Let's do
And
it.
it's initiative.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So you got 10 extra hit points. You have advantage on Constitution checks. Ayasa moves up next to you, fans out her hands, and golden flames all like 3 of the ones that
Oh
are in
my
the
gosh.
front, just burning
Okay,
hands.
Right now.
I like to think. I just want to picture that. Like I see her come up to me. I see her waving her hands, and I'm just like, yeah. Simultaneously, finger pointing with the yelling and the fire going out.
Get them. All right, dexterity
You see
saving
it? You see it in your
throws
mind's eye.
for these wards.
I
Only one succeeds, so they're taking 3d6 damage, and the one is taking half. 6, 10, 13 damage. 13 plus 9 is 22.
It's a nice spell you cast on me. What was that?
Bear's Endurance.
Bear's Endurance is nice.
I mean, yeah, it's enhanced ability, but I gave you Bear's Endurance.
Right.
Remember in like 3rd edition they added all of those?
Yeah, I used to do like D4.
Bull Strength.
It used to be D4 to the
plus
stat.
D4 plus 1 to the stat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she cooks down 3 of them. The one in the lead that you already shot, like he was the first to turn around and start to head this way, he's just like, he's like dragging himself now, burned, taking the full brunt of her golden flames. The 2 on the sides, one jumps out of the way and gets his back leg singed. The other one just gets his face and part of his front singed as he tries to reel back from this fiery onslaught from her. Initiatives.
Right.
15.
I'll be 19.
Hey, we're actually
You're
gonna
more
have
good
good
to
initiatives, at least they are. Hey, not terrible.
Well, I went last. Oh, you have nothing. No gun.
Yeah, I thought about using one of my points to increase dex as getting that +1, but I was like,
It's not worth
fuck
it.
it,
It
why
doesn't
just-
matter if you go first, just to do it. You know?
Rofros.
19.
Xernex.
15.
Savroth.
14.
Alright.
What did I also end up with?
Huh?
What did I also end up with?
6.
Oh.
Just cast a spell.
Yeah. Alright, 19. Rofros.
Alright, I'm just gonna start just charging up there with my hammer. Hammer of Justice! And
So you got 3 right in front of you, one really heavily wounded, one wounded, and one lightly wounded. And then
Go
there's a
for the-
fresh one.
I'm gonna go for middle there.
So the heavily wounded.
Not the heavily wounded.
Okay,
yet,
so the
middle wounded. Yeah.
Are you going to try to engage as many as possible?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So you're going to step up to the one in the middle, engage all 3, and hit the one on the
I'm
left.
kind of like kind of go in with a charging in the middle one with a hammer, but like really just stick myself in the forward momentum of it. Yeah. Go. Ah.
Hey.
And that's going to be a 24.
That's a definite hit.
Your +10 is
Oh, yeah.
With my channel divinity. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets his. Now he's getting his charisma bonus,
Mhm.
his strength bonus,
And
and
my
his
proficiency.
proficiency bonus
Wow.
Yeah.
for
If I
the
ever
next
get a magic
for the
hammer.
next minute,
Whoa.
+10 is, it's
Oh,
too
watch out.
right? And then it's like great weapon. So you're like the thing about missing with a great weapon is like that missed damage potential, like that one attack that could do so much and missing. Now you're pretty much guaranteed hit. And you're re-rolling those 1s and 2s.
Yeah,
It is-
I'm
it's
going to
freaking crazy
use a
damage
spell
output.
slot. I'm going to use a spell slot to add smite to it.
Okay.
So it's going to be 2d6 for the hammer, and then 2d8.
Don't use the red ones.
2d8. And I get to re-roll the 6s, but not the 8s.
Yes, 1s and 2s on the 6s.
1s and 2s, right? But not necessary. It's going to be
17.
10. So yeah, 17.
Yeah,
17
that
plus.
thing is dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're just like,
and
and
as-
that thing just flies.
And with my bonus action with that strike, platinum wings just sprout out of my back, ethereal, and then wrap around me for
Shield of Faith.
Shield of Faith.
Okay, yeah,
Come
you
at
just
me,
there's a
dwarves.
yip, a guttural like, and that thing just flies off into the forest, hits a tree, and slumps down. Yeah. The other 2 come up snapping at you, and that's what happens next. They go on 18. So
Okay.
This is probably the most badass I've ever seen you.
It feels good.
so the 2 that are left snap at you. The one that
Grace was not this.
No, Grace did not do this shit.
the one that's on the side comes around, and he is going to go after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to go after Yasa. So he's circling around because of the burn and all that, like the fire. He wants to get rid of that. So
Sure.
he moves around. All right, 3 attacks on you.
I feel like I remember that Ayasa's here a lot more than Shiny.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Johnny.
Johnny, that person.
Hey.
All right.
What can you do? Invisible fly?
16, 16, natural 20.
All right.
5. So 3 hits, but no crit.
I'm Shield of Faith.
Shield
I'm
of Faith,
AC 18 now.
So one hit,
It
no
was a crit,
crit.
but no crit because Animantium armor. Kacha!
He's so excited. 12 damage, though.
Oof.
That thing
That takes
leaps
away
up.
the 10 temporary hit points. Does 2 damage to
Yep.
me.
That thing
would've
leaps.
Thank you,
ripped
Seth,
your
right?
throat out.
That thing leaps up and grabs right on your elbow as you're still in that swing pose to hit that last one. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Strength. I'm not proficient in that.
You're not. You're proficient
I'm not
in
aware of
wisdom
a
and
paladin,
constitution,
yeah.
right?
I'm wisdom and charisma,
Charisma.
actually. Isn't that interesting? You think constitution and one of those
Wisdom,
other two, yeah.
All right.
17
Nice.
plus 4 though, so
Yeah, you're fine.
yeah.
These
Is he
things,
trying to drag me down?
these things, like they always do the bite and turn. They're
Right.
always trying to knock
So
you
he's trying
down.
to do a little death roll thing on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Shake.
I can tell what he's trying to do.
Oh
by
yeah,
resisting
you felt it,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
it. First off, it didn't get a good clamp because that glowiness, that bear's endurance. It just kind of comes off of that and goes through those temporary hit points, and then it just gets your chain, and you feel his mouth like whip, and like if it was on your elbow, you would have your entire arm and everything would have just gone down.
Wow.
But it just got the chain and cinched it. You're like, "Ugh, get off. The one on Yasa misses. All right, so that is 15 Xernex.
Alright.
You can attack any of these with your bow, and you won't get advantage, but you will get sneak attack.
So one of them's hurt.
One of them is severely injured.
One
of them is
minor.
lightly wounded, and one of them is fresh.
Which one is the one on
No, Skyrim's
Ayasa?
battle music.
Skyrim.
Which
I'll,
one's the one on Ayasa?
Yasa's the fresh.
Okay.
No damage on the one that's attacking Yasa.
I'm just curious.
it's just the one. He'll help her out. I'm gonna shoot the severely injured one. And go ahead and take it off of him.
It's one thing about D&D is that wounds don't reduce the functionality.
Yeah, right.
So and even down to 1 hit point, they're pumping out full damage,
Yeah,
having full
yeah.
abilities.
Oh, it
So,
goes both
14.
ways too.
14 hits.
Alright.
Oh, nice. You just got it to hit it.
It's dead.
It
It was like, when I say severely wounded, I meant severely wounded. Your
Throw a
minimum
smite around
is
it.
8. Like your minimum
Yeah.
damage is 8.
I was gonna say,
crazy.
do one of those things where I look over, I'm like, but like I watch you like destroying things. I'm like,
Yeah, you're just like it's pulling back, like because it just is releasing the chainmail because it didn't get you down. It's like, "Rah!" And you just see this arrow. Like you didn't even see the arrow. All of a sudden, you just see feathers, like the fletching,
The flips,
Like,
yeah.
and it just and pitches over to the side. Savroth.
Save my asses, weird ass.
I mean, she didn't get hit technically. So.
She hasn't gotten hit yet, but she still needs. She needs more protecting than anyone else. Well, no, that's not true. You need more protecting than anyone else. She has more hit points than the rogue.
Is this Firefall?
I don't know. This video is definitely going to get copyright and taken down.
I can change it.
No, it's fine.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late now. If it'll get hit, whatever.
If somebody gets this with a copyright,
No,
thing, I'd be
it
like,
happened that first session.
Oh, really?
I played music on the first D&D session. I played a Spotify playlist.
Wow.
Immediate.
Are there bots that just like comb this
Yes,
stuff?
it's
Wow.
just it. When you load it up, YouTube has things that just listen, and it just if it hears that thing, anything that's copyrighted, that's been loaded up to their systems.
Internet police state is what this
No, I mean
is.
Shazam identifies music for you on the radio.
Yeah,
You just use it as
yeah.
a tool to identify copyright infringement.
It didn't get taken down. It just got hit. Like,
Yeah.
hey, if so, this has been sent to the creator.
Right,
if
right.
they want to take you down, they'll take you down.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So what you got going?
I kind of want to just guiding bolt.
This is a good one.
Because in one round, that means it'll last until my next turn.
It'll last till the
Or just...
end of your next turn.
Okay.
Also
I
doesn't
believe.
allow.
So
I just want to make sure technically they would have a
everyone
chance
would get a chance, and yourself. If you were like, you get Guiding Bolt, and on the next turn you could attack it and still get your own advantage.
Okay.
I believe that's the way that works.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see if I can hit this with a +7.
Well, you said
19?
Yep, that is.
That's 46.
Guiding Bolt.
That's 9, 12, 13 radiant damage.
13 radiant damage. And this is against the fresh one on Ayasa.
Yes.
You hit it with your... What does your Guiding Bolt look like? Have we gone over this before? Have you cast this spell before?
I don't know if I've yet to cast this, but it probably looks like a huge, was it spear?
Spear's Bahamut's
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah.
So, like, this platinum spearhead flies from your hand and strikes it to the side. It yelps. These things are super guttural. Like, they're not yelping like, yay! They're like, Nark!
And I don't know. I forgot. Didn't catch all of what you said, but it's the next before Savros' next turn. The
So it
next hit
ends-
against it.
Before.
It
So it
ends
ends at
after
the start of his next turn?
The start of his next
Okay.
turn. Yeah.
So you don't get it.
So he wouldn't get it. But it's
Sorry. Before the end of his next.
Right. So he could get it. You could give it to yourself.
Turn. Yeah.
And what does this do now, Guiding Bolt?
Advantage to
The
attack.
next attack has
Yeah,
advantage.
just one attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
So it's
next
not like
person to
everyone
strike
gets
this thing
advantage, but
will have
someone-
advantage.
Yeah, and it's just the next attack roll, whether it hits or misses. Just the next attack on that has an advantage.
And
That's it.
I'm gonna be a dick player rules lawyer because I'm gonna cast Magic Missile and it's not an attack roll.
I mean, it's not.
It doesn't count. It's not gonna pull the Guiding Bolt off of it. But
Next attack roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
so yeah, she kind of steps back, like she backs into you because she was right next to you. So she is back to back with you now, trying to get away from this thing
Sure.
that's glowing.
Still on
Yeah.
a horse?
No. So she just like puts her back to you and like opens her hands. The great thing about her little bolts is that like little dragging lings appear and they just fly out and seek whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, and she's putting 2 into the one that's attacking her and 2 into the other.
She's 4 bolts.
She's casting him at 2nd level. So you get an extra bolt for every spell slot you go up.
That's cool.
Do I have another D4? I do not.
I don't know if you've ever seen this action, but it's available to most of us.
Oh, this is it?
Oh. Yeah.
Sounds like it could be decent.
It's useful sometimes. Mostly against skeletons.
Alright. So her little, like the 2 that appear in this hand, just fly and hit the one that's right next to her that's glowing from his guiding bolt. It pretty much yells at her when it gets hit. It's still up. Doesn't look very good. The other 2 fly around her and you and hit the other one on you. So like you're sitting there, you hear the 2 get hit over here, and then you just see these 2 little dragonlings, like gold flaming dragons, like come over and smash into the one that you're the last one that you're fighting, and it wounds it.
This is Baldur's Gate.
Alright. So back to the top of the order with 19. Roll for us.
All right. I see that going, and she's got one on her. So there's one on her, and there's still 2.
There's 1 on you.
There's just one on me.
There's 2 dead.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So the
right,
arrow
yeah.
the arrow in one.
Yeah,
You knock the other one out. So if you want, you could like
I kind of want to.
It's still only lightly wounded, but there's one right behind you that's attacking Yasa.
Yeah, I want to get the one that's attacking Yasa. Yeah, I kind of want to just kind of do a swivel, like start with 2 hands, but kind of like, leave with the one just for that little reach, that hook around, and smash that one over the shoulder.
Advantage.
He wants to give that wolf a reach around.
I
Advantage.
do want to give that wolf a reach around.
Advantage plus 10.
What? Why would I do that? That's alright, that's going to be a 27.
Yeah, that hits.
Jesus Christ.
Cow! It's already wounded?
It is already wounded, yeah. It's dead.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Or,
it's,
reroll
10.
that. Reroll that too.
Oh, I do reroll it too. It's a 9. It would have been 10.
It still dies.
Alright.
Alright. The last one is like now like looking around and has no friends. It's like kind of backs up and just turns and starts running.
They have attack of opportunity. Alright.
Also, can I shoot it with an arrow?
You shoot it as it's leaving. It's not going to get away, but
That's going to be a 19.
yeah, that hits.
Okay. That's going to be a 9 plus 13 damage on it. And I'm going to put... I got one last spell slot. I'll put a smite into that.
All right, then it dies.
Okay.
You were going to leave it with 1 hit point.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
So like you did this blam over there, and as it starts backing up and turns and runs, you just drag the hammer along the ground, hook its hind leg with the hammer, and like kind of pick it up into the air, and it just like tumble, and go and just pound it into the ground.
Yeah.
It's like
Don't listen, Bane. Don't listen.
all right.
It's just a glowing hammer.
4 dead wargs, and the horse the horse is laid down. Like the horse is just like, and it's like it can't keep its eyes open. It is a brown, like looks like an older horse, brown, but it lives up to its name. It has a blonde mane, like. So it's got some spots here and there of like the blonde as well, but yeah, it's just this darker brown horse with a blonde mane, so it's gold mane.
I want to try out Ice Knife. Do you think that's enough to take it down?
The horse, oh yeah, easy. Just
I'm gonna get some water real quick. Anyone else need some water?
No, it's right at the
No, I'm
halfway
good.
mark. Can we just quickly?
yeah. Well, before you guys get back,
Yeah. We're good.
So the fight just ended. So before we deal with the horse and the old man and all that stuff, we'll take a quick little break.
All right.
So, ding. We'll be
Okay.
right back.
It feels good not to miss.
Right. Yes, good.
It's the Glitter Boy paradox. Now I have to throw things up with like 30 ACs against you guys.
Don't do that.
don't do that. I like how the cap of this is blue, but it's the chroma key, so it's black.
Yeah, that's funny.
What's great is like it should. I have to push it to the back. With the chroma key, if I push this to the back, it should show through here. There it is. So you see how the chroma key works? It goes behind me.
Yeah.
So I could put any image I want back here. So I could put this behind me like this. But with this bottle now, the text goes through it because it's blue. So the text stays on top of it. Anyway, fun stuff. Fun stuff with chroma key. Anyway, for everyone else, this is a blue cap. You can see the water in there. But over here, it's a black
Kind
cap.
of like walk past your camera with my shirt on right now and see how much of Marion you actually
Yeah,
see.
you probably chroma all through that thing. Oh. Hey, if we have any viewers, we don't have any viewers. Sorry. Looks like we got some bots viewing us, but no real viewers. I think I messed up when I was trying to get it to refresh the chat. I put our stream on away.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, we were streaming, but if anyone was looking at me on the sidebar, it would say that I was away.
It's alright.
Eh.
Live and learn.
It'll be up with the YouTubes. Oh.
So I was actually curious. Like I was pretty sure last night. I was like, I haven't heard that we are streaming, so I'm guessing we're putting on hold the Rips game.
Yeah. We said that like 2 weeks ago?
I know, but like I didn't know if it was like just for like a week.
No.
Oh, no, I have
No, we're...
class is 6:15 to 8:45 now on Tuesdays, so it just isn't going to
No, I mean, it's...
Yeah. Eventually we can...
We can always come back
I
to
just
it.
wanted to make sure
Figure it
that I
back out.
for sure knew that like...
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing, so like if I started to
We can always go
do
back to it.
things on Tuesdays right now, I would be like...
Yeah, totally.
I feel, especially with like WoW coming up and everyone, like that would be the perfect night to do dungeon runs and things like that. Alright. Oh, Bandy. Bandy is the coolest dog ever. She's a part coyote, probably.
She
but
might be.
she likes to howl. Like, she's a howling dog. Like, that's how she talks. So she'll bark, but she doesn't growl. She tries to howl at you to talk to you. So you... There it is. I bet the mic is picking up that real nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Chrono Trigger, isn't it? Or Final Fantasy VII?
This one's just peaceful travel.
Oh.
We killed our enemies.
Alright.
If it
Well,
was Chrono Trigger, I would have known that shit for now. I played
oh
that game
yeah.
so
Oh
goddamn
man, what a
much.
great game.
That's one of the few games that like we played New Game Plus enough that right in the very beginning when you, I don't know their names because I always change their names. When you meet Marley the first time,
Yeah.
she's with Luca. Is the
No, you meet her in the fair the first time.
yeah? I was just saying like,
But you follow. Yeah, you meet
the first
Luca,
fight you guys do
just
is
showing
like,
her around the fair.
you fight the cat, that cat,
Mr.
robot
Gato.
thing. Yeah, Mr. Gato.
Ba, ba,
So
ba,
if
ba,
you-
ba.
If you beat that thing and you leave, once you're done with it, it gives you you make like 15 silver points. You leave. If you go right back in, there's a little glowing dot
Yeah,
there,
you
and it
can
takes
go-
you to
you can-
Lavos.
yeah, you can- yeah.
Takes
Oh,
you
yeah,
into the game.
It's
You have to play it with just her and just you, but you have to have done New Game Plus like 14 or 15 times.
To build
We
yourself
beat
up.
that before like that.
Yeah, me too, man.
So that's super
Yeah.
cool. That's where you get the developer ending. Where
Yeah.
it's all the characters are like there's like bobbleheads of all the producers and programmers and things like that. It's super.
Do you ever
cool.
do that? Do you ever go there when? Do you ever go to Lavos through that portal after Chrono dies and you don't resurrect him?
Hey,
And you
spoiler alert. I'm just kidding. The game's like 25 years old.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, everybody.
a thing outside of spoiler alert.
No, I've not done that one. We've gotten like 6 of the 14 endings.
There's like 15 different endings
yeah,
of
I
that
think it's
game.
14 is I think the actual count.
Yeah,
Is it
I
15?
think it's either it's between somewhere between 13 and 15.
Yeah. So
14. All right. So
all right.
the wargs are dead. The wargs are dead. The horse is severely wounded on its last legs, so to speak. The 2 front ones.
Can I
Okay,
mix
'cause
my
of the
animal
horse's
handling and medicine
legs
into
are-
a combination of horse medicine?
You can do what?
I said, can I mix my animal handling and medicine into a combination of horse medicine?
You can. Do you have animal handling?
Yeah, it's a +3. So is my medicine.
You can try.
I'm pretty wise.
I mean, you do have like 2 people in here that have healing spells.
I
I
know.
think.
I use mine on that old hip.
Let's let the healing spells go first.
Like, how messed up is it? Like,
I mean, it's a horse, so you know it's got some hit points to it, and it doesn't like it looks like it's on its last leg. Like
Of course.
it's about to die.
okay. Well then, let's use my. Which one? I think it's Cure Wounds.
Cure wounds level 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Use command. Feel better.
I think he only used one word. I think he only used
Suck
one
it up.
word.
Suck it up. It's
Yeah.
one. It is one word. Yeah.
Heal.
Faker.
Yeah, faker.
So 2d8 plus 5.
Is it only +5? Isn't it more
Something
than
like
that?
that. If you did use fake it would be commanded to like fake it.
Disciple of
And
Life.
then it would get up and probably
Whenever you use a
like, start to
spell
stand.
of first level or higher to restore HP, the creature regains an additional HP equal to 2 plus the spell's level.
He
So
hands him this piece of paper and he looks at it and says, "Bet you can't, pussy." And he's like, like. The next scene's like
and
him at the
does
airport
that
like this.
does
Like he's
healing
gonna do it.
does cure wounds add anything else to it? Plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which is a
4, isn't it?
5, isn't it?
5? Oh, did you go bump up to 20?
I did. I bumped up my wisdom.
So it's +9.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
have 20 wisdom?
Yes. She has a 20 intelligence now too.
Jeez.
Spellcasters.
Yeah. They want to main stat and
Yeah, right.
gots to.
2d8 plus 9?
I just
Yep.
want to be good at everything.
Because that's 15 total.
That was a shitty roll.
It was.
Okay. It takes it all. It seals up the wounds. The thing, stands up, lets out an appreciative whinny, and shakes its mane. And then it starts walking back through the forest on its own.
We should escort this horse, of course.
And no one escorts a horse, of course, unless that horse is the famous
Golden mane.
golden name.
Man, there's a whole bunch of people that have no idea what just happened.
Oh, yeah, we're like old now, aren't we?
We're getting there, yeah.
Stick some peanut butter on the top of this horse's
I
mouth
remember
and
the
pretend it
first-
talks.
Whoa.
I remember the first time I told my wife that something was old hat. I was like, "That's old hat." She's like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I was like, "Well, it means something's like it's so old, it's like outdated or it's not used anymore. It's an old hat." She goes, "Oh, so that saying is old hat."
I'm like,
I was like, "Touche."
So you escort the horse back to the road?
Yeah, is the old man still there? Is he
Yeah.
being eaten by wargs?
Nope, he's sitting there cross-legged, smoking on a pipe.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't die. So I wanted him to come back.
We come back, he's dead. And we're like, "Oh, well, we got a new horse that doesn't
He-
shrink. Let's eat it."
Like, wobbles to and fro, sticks his legs out, starts to stand up as he sees you coming out of the forest. By the time you get there, he's like to his knees, still trying to stand up.
Golly.
He's an
I
old
help
man.
him up.
All right, oh, thank you there, young man.
Mighty
Oh.
steed you have here.
Oh, and he puts his pipe in his mouth and goes over and brushes gold mane. Oh, you have just done me a great service. You're a fine lot of lads. I'm Marduk, by the way.
Marduk.
He's shaking hands.
I'm so excited.
Inspiration.
Can't help myself anymore. Like it was like, ooh, yay.
I don't have much, but I have to give you a token of my appreciation. Something for you to remember. Where are you fellas headed?
The pinion.
Oh, the Pinion. Shade Rest, then. Lovely, lovely town. He pulls off his gloves. Oh, here. Can you hold these for me? And he starts going upstairs. When you go there, you need to...
I feel like in the future, once we're all done, we go back that like Clan Goldath is going to be called the Clasping Dragons because like the only dragons that like want to shake hands. All the like, why does dragons shake hands?
You need to go see the Three Scholars' house. The best brews, the Slooseberry wine. It is terrific. You can only find it in the shade of the Pinion. Let me see here. Oh, here. He hands you a brooch. Like he just pulls it right off his robes or his shirts underneath his robes.
You're gonna need a brooch clip.
It seems like a battered bronze brooch. Battered bronze brooch. It has some symmetrical circular patterns on it. It's like, I don't have much. I'm going to see my kids. I hope they survive the war. I haven't heard from them in months. I've been traveling from Neverwinter to Cormyr,
It's quite a trip.
but I want you to take this with you.
Are you certain?
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The 3 scholars. Definitely pay them a visit.
Also, out of curiosity, what language were you speaking with those beasts?
Wargs. They speak Goblin. Pretty much serve the little buggers.
They're goblins here.
The swamp has been dry as of late. Goblins have been coming north and such to seek cooler climes.
Interesting. Are you certain you're all right traveling alone? You can come with us.
Oh, you have done so much for me. I would hate to take you away from. You said you were on a quest. I can't take your time any more than I already have. He starts to try to get up on his horse. Okay, you help him up. Farewell. May the gods bless your journey, and may you find home at the end of it, right where you left it.
May you be safe on yours.
You slay all your foes before you.
you come with a greeting as he leaves.
He
You
just-
also
Yeah, he's sitting there like just smoking his pipe, kind of hunched over, and the horse is just walking, and they go off into around the bend, and they're gone.
He's going to be a terrible necromancer we have to fight later.
You're still holding his gloves.
What was his name?
His name was Marduk.
Marduk.
I have a feeling there's 2 U's in that. No. Oh.
Marduke.
I was going to say his name was Marmaduke.
Marduk.
Yeah.
So you have they're these gray, very supple gloves.
Do they fit?
And you're like, and they
So it's like-
stretch right over your hands, and they feel like even when you do this, it almost feels like you're touching yourself through them. Like it doesn't giggity. It almost feels like they're not there. They're super supple and soft, expert craftsmanship.
I just start volunteering at a first grade school next week.
You're gonna get all that right out. Like giggity go.
I hurt my baby.
That's the word for the tingling.
Taylor just comes home and he's just sitting on the couch like giggity giggity giggity
Yeah, right.
giggity giggity.
I don't think I told you guys the last time this happened. It caused a stutter when I tried to swear because I couldn't swear at work. I worked at full time at school. I worked 6 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 years. So people would be like, "Hey, fuck you, fuck your mom." I'd be like,
you have to get it
asshole.
go,
Like,
go,
I
go,
had to
get to the door.
Forcefully say it.
Face.
Yeah, you were a doo-doo hidden.
So do you put on those gloves?
Yeah,
They're really
feel-
nice.
They're nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I will, if I run into them again, I'll give them back.
Yeah.
I'm not really a thief.
Yeah.
Wearing that poor old man's gloves.
They fit so well.
They do. But his hands were like, oh.
No, you
I feel like I just felt right through them.
through
to
your
hands.
plate mail.
Yeah.
Through your mail.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a woman's
Would you
touch
like me
upon
to
my arm.
investigate my
Do you want to?
brooch? Sure.
What?
You want me to cast a spell on it?
What do you want to cast?
I get detect magic.
You can. So as you guys are riding off, you can cast Detect Magic as a ritual. You just take 10 minutes. It won't take up one of your spell slots.
Are you checking to see if I just stole some magic gloves?
And you can he's checking his
I'm
brooch.
checking the
But
brooch.
after once you
Well,
cast it, you can. It's a radius. You can focus and look at other things as well. So you're going, you continued riding down this path now that this ordeal is done with this old man on the road, and you cast your Detect Magic, and it is indeed a magical brooch. If you look over at his gloves, they are indeed magical gloves as well.
Your gloves are magical. You don't have to message me. I'll just tell you.
yeah, the gloves are always fitting.
The gloves
So-
are fitting.
Yasa just holds
They
out her
just
hand.
fit. That's all they do. Me first.
She takes her gloves, shakes the hand. She just sits there on her horse, opens up her book, starts pulling out components and setting them all around her, and she goes through a couple rituals of Identify. You owe her 200 gold.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
I'm saying you need to feed her gold if you want to keep identifying gear.
Stay a while and listen.
Gold dragons. Always wanting more gold. They're a credit to the clan.
This is a brooch of shielding.
That's all I have this time.
A brooch of shielding. It is proof against force damage and makes you immune to magic missiles.
Like Enchanted Balliste.
No, the actual spell, like I use.
Oh.
What was the first part of that?
Resistance to force damage. She said it's proof against force damage. So any spell that's like a shockwave or like it's not lightning or anything else, like something that tries to push you or attack, like hit you, telekinesis and things like that, force damage, you take half while you're wearing that brooch. These are gloves of missile snaring. As long as you have a hand free, anyone that shoots at you, you can try to grab it out of the air.
What? Really?
Dibs.
Let's
Try this out!
Yeah, I got javelins.
I got javelins. I'm gonna throw
yeah.
these at you. Oh, here we go. We got someone. Dice chuck, gloves of fitting.
Yeah, right? There's gotta be like tons of practical, like small.
Yes, we are watching the chat. We have a monitor over here.
Hello, chat. We can't see. Only Dave Wiley can see.
No,
Who'd you rather,
the
Monica or Rachel?
What?
So Dick Fuel is asking, who'd you rather, Monica or Rachel?
Rachel,
Rachel.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Come on.
I don't know. Like, I had a huge crush on Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Team Monica?
She was. I'm kind of Team Monica
Hell yeah.
because she
Yeah.
was in the
I didn't even know there was a team.
Bruce Springsteen's first video, "Dancing in the Dark." He pulls up a young Courtney Cox on the stage to dance with him at the end.
Well, it's,
And that's like a big part of
That
my
sounds-
childhood of the original MTV when it first came
sounds
on.
like you got more of a thing for Bruce Springsteen, though. than
Well, I was from
Courtney
Jersey,
Cox.
so
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
yeah. 1984. Jesus, it's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Now.
That has been running. Is it the same campaign or is it like the same world?
Oh, is the last?
He's been running the same campaign on Sundays since 1984.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently one long campaign.
Damn, that is impressive.
Yeah.
These guys, so I've had multiple groups, friends in and out, various reasons over my time as a GM and a DM. But I keep a persistent world, so the things that they do in this game will affect the next game, and the things that they have done in previous games affect this game. Like they're going to a place where he's played before, and they're about to see and do things that
in two different campaigns. One was very short.
yeah,
but...
two of that for the Pinion. Tolan is from my longest running campaign, with Scott and Mark and Jared. So yeah, very impressive.
1984. Wow.
It is. I love having things.
Are they all gods now? What's the deal?
They probably like save the planes 3 times over.
Yeah.
It's weird that he has a D&D campaign that's been around longer than I've been alive.
Well, the thing is, they only play once every 4 months. So
They play once a year.
yeah.
He said
It's like
Sunday, didn't he?
every Sunday.
he did
That's
say
a
that.
lot of
They said
campaigns. That's a lot of. I mean,
That's a lot. That's a lot of gaming.
like that's like that.
Ours.
That
Do you
group
imagine
of
the note
friends.
collection you'd have?
Books. I'm assuming there's books and
I was
binders.
gonna say
What are
ours
these?
went
Those
from
from, like, you?
October of last year until like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so that's our longest so far.
That's pretty cool.
Guys, typing away now.
Nice. Well, congratulations, Dice Chuck. We play all kinds of games. You can see I have a huge collection of various things.
I can't see where you're pointing.
Yeah, sorry. Over there. That's where the library is. I'm kind of pointing at it. Like, you see these books over there? I'm touching them. Ding, ding, ding.
We're actually surrounded.
I do. I play a lot of stuff.
It goes against this wall all the way down, and then this wall.
That
over
wall
here
over there.
also has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've run a lot of campaigns through various systems. Shadowrun, the old World of Darkness, the new World of Darkness, D&D. Those are pretty much my favorites. Rifts and now Savage Rifts and the Savage World systems in general.
You did that 40k game for quite a long time.
Oh
as
yeah,
well, too.
and I did 40k in the same universe. I did it through Dark Heresy,
to
Rogue Trader, to Death Watch.
I didn't join till Death Watch.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
And it was the same shared world, like the things that happen. And I'm bringing all that stuff into Wrath and Glory. So
yes, you absolutely should.
you guys are just on the opposite side of where that campaign
Right,
takes place.
yeah.
So.
Well, you never know the warp.
Especially with that rift right there.
Yeah, it's a big old scar.
Oh yeah.
Big old scar, baby.
So do this thing, is it specifically also guard against magic missile? Or
Specifically, you are completely immune. If someone casts magic missile against you, it just hits you and does nothing.
But they might not even know it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, way to piss off wizards real quick. It's like, oh, auto hit magic missile.
Oh.
The better than the brooch of shielding is the shield of shielding, which actually, like, you protect everyone around you from magic missile. Oh no problem. We enjoy talking to the chat. We try to get a good balance between game and distraction, but we like having viewers, so if you hit the follow, a cool graphical crocus
Milk it, Wiley, milk it!
Milk it!
Hashtag sellout mode.
Sell
I
it!
know, now we're all like, we want to see the,
Never
we
we-
want to see the graphic.
Are you gonna do it? Are you
Pressure's
gonna do
on now, man.
Do it.
Follow.
So
He's on the spot.
He's-
Oh,
he's-
there's
he's
something
like,
else
well,
now.
I'm going away.
Have a good time, everybody.
Oh, the phone's ringing.
So,
Alright.
you guys continue your travels down the road. You have identified the two magic items that have been gifted to you by this old man for helping out him and his horse.
One of them was gifted.
One of them was gifted. Like, you don't likely
stealing,
forget.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
likely
true.
forget those
That's
type of
true.
things.
Yeah.
He didn't ask for him back. He handed them to you specifically, and he didn't ask for them back. So you think he forgot them. You guys ride through another day's travel along this long, lonesome road to the north, and that's
We pass him.
the next day. You are coming out of the road, and the forest kind of parts away, and the road just stretches out before you and opens up. Hey, Dice Chuck! is now following the party. Dice Chuck is in the back, following the party.
He's riding Golden Mane. I stole his gloves.
That guy needs.
Nice.
That guy said his name was Marduk. It's really Dice Chuck.
It's Dice Chuck now.
It's now Dice Chuck. Did you see it? I don't know if it was delayed or anything, but it's goes across the screen. Picking up the coins you dropped. All right,
We've got a road.
now.
There's no coins getting dropped.
Yeah.
So a couple things. First off, this land opens up. It is just beautiful grassy fields and rolling hills and a river. But more so than that now, and you'd seen it, and you didn't realize how big it was before when you were looking at it over the forest line. But now that the forest has given way and you're opening up, you see the Pinion now in the distance. And it is absolutely immense. Just this immense sheer piece of rock going all the way up into the sky. And now you realize how far away it still is, and it's dominating the skyline. Like, on the horizon, it is just taking up a huge chunk of that vertical or that horizontal space. And its shadow, like as the sun is around it, it just casts this massive shadow across whatever part of the basin it's facing. You get this weird tingly sensation as this, looking out across this land, it looks eerily similar to that dream when you came down through the clouds. There was like towns and stuff down here, but this open area seems very familiar to that dream you had, just without all the towns and without the castle. So, yeah, you know that you're probably just a day out. You might be able to, if you push your chargers, you may be able to make Shade Rest tonight, or at least this afternoon.
I think we ought to. We've used a lot of spells and
Look at them.
Oh, you've rested. It's already been a day, so everyone's hit points and everything's
We
back.
can see it so clearly. We should push on.
I see
The destiny
clearly
awaits.
now the rain is gone.
I agree. I think we should press.
And now you're not worried about forest or anything like that. You can see clearly ahead of you. You can just open those chargers up and push it. This is so. I don't know if you clicked on the YouTube. This is about the 5th episode. So first episode on the ocean. Second was the Sahagin. Third episode was the Drake. This might be the 4th. The campaign.
I feel like we're missing one in there, though. I think you are right.
It might be 5th.
Yeah.
So in my YouTube channel, we had run a D&D game before this, and it ended in a TPK. So this is the start of a new campaign, this Dragonborn Salvation, which you're seeing down below. They're all Dragonborn in this game. They're trying to save their homeland, and they're all from this particular clan. So they're going out into the world. Not really only one of them has been outside of their clan holdings, trying to learn about the people, but also about the plots and things that are against them, and find help against the oppressors that are attacking their kingdom. 5th edition. Yes, this is 5th edition. Sorry. I didn't know if you're asking about... They all have bad breath. They all have bad breath.
We do.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said... Or I thought you were talking about episodes. Yes, this is 5th edition. 5th edition, Forgotten Realms. My version of Forgotten Realms. I've been playing for a long time. And mostly in the Forgotten Realms. So it's kind of the... When I have kept up with it and when I haven't, it's an amalgamation of all the knowledge I have of the Forgotten Realms mashed together, plus all the stuff that's happened in my campaigns to that world. But this is a brand new campaign. The back episodes you can see on the Twitch channel, but I'm also going to be uploading them to my YouTube channel.
I'm sorry.
Alright. So you guys are pushing for Shade Rest tonight?
Yeah.
Alright.
The night.
That pinion just keeps growing and growing and growing. As you guys make your way towards its base. Shade Rest is in the hills, the foothills at the base of the pinion, like half a day, quarter of a day from it, from the Sluice Lake. As you get further into this land, you start to see farms pop up. Lots of farmland, just big open farms. Ed Greenwood is genius.
That was the dog. Yeah.
I was just reading. He was talking about the Forgotten Realms. It's my favorite setting,
That's
too.
great.
I like Planescape and I like Dark Sun for their various things, but if it comes to pure fantasy, like the Forgotten Realms has it all, and it's just perfect.
Dark Suns was mean.
It was mean.
It's a mean setting.
Everybody's
Deliberately
died.
mean.
You're thirsty, you're hungry the whole time.
So you ride down, and the pinion looms above you. As the sun sets, it even has like almost a shimmer to it. It's tall, it's gray, and like a slab of granite essentially, but it also has this kind of sheen, almost like sparkle, like quartz in rock. So as it kind of the sun goes down, there's these crystalline reflections in the side of the pinion. You see the town of Shade Rest. The river runs through it. On one side, it has high wooden walls. You start seeing people going to and fro. Like as you're going through the farmlands, there's more people. Almost everyone out here is personable. They'll greet you. They are a little bit more reserved, again, than the Cormyreans, but they're just as nice once they deem that you're not a threat.
Now, is this shit, because we got notes from, my notes from last session, is this Shade Rest or is this Shade Meat? Because there's like two towns.
There's two
here?
towns. So Shade... Whoa. I lost my place. There it is. So Shade Rest is the town you're heading to. There's 3 names for the whole area. So Shade Rest is the trading town that you're going to. It's the main hub town. There's Shade Stead, which you're gonna find out this eventually, I guess. But Shade Stead is where the farmers kind of meet, and that's where like the farm communities. That's their town. It's not where like it's on the other side of the river. It's not where the travelers come through. It's not a big hustling, bustling town. Shade Rest isn't a hustling, bustling town. The entire place is sometimes called Shade Meet, as that was the original kind of like location. Everyone met in the shade of the Pinion. Yeah. So, but Shade Rest is the name of the town.
What was that farmer community?
Shade Stead.
Shade Stead. Okay. Interesting.
So, if I'd said Shade Meet before, someone was using like the old terminology for this location.
You have been saying Shade Rest. Somebody, Tolan said Shade Rest and Shade Meet. He said
Don't
both.
frighten the locals. Yeah. Yes. Everyone else just caters to the travelers. It's like a big truck stop. It's like Shadestead, where the people actually work. Yes, like that's the farming community. And then Shade Meat just caters to the people that are going by and tries to leech off their gold.
Right.
Which is pretty much exactly what it is. So as you guys head up, you're pretty impressed for this being as little as it is and as so far out as it is. They actually have like the wooden wall is really well made, sturdy, tall. There's 2 guards standing outside. The doors are open, but the guards are in uniforms. They're in splint mail, like banded metal splint mail.
Okay.
They have a sword and a shield. They look like they each also have light crossbows. So it looks pretty well equipped. Or at least like there's some good support for the locals here. And as you come up, one of the guards waves and says, "Welcome, travelers.
Hello.
What business ye have in Shade Rest?"
That's a good question. We should have thought of this on the way up here.
We don't really know.
You're here to seek the Pinion.
Well, there it is.
Thank you.
You have found it.
We would like some rest before we meet it.
Well, we have that in spades, my friend. Is it drink and food and company, or is it beds you seek? We can cater to all.
Can it be both?
It can be.
I believe we are looking for the 3 scholars.
The 3 scholars. You'll find that in the second ripple. Move through the walls in town until you get past 2 more gates. Then you'll ask anyone you see, and they'll point you to it.
Thank you. From one soldier to another, I should warn you, we've heard word that swamps in the south have dried, and goblins may be moving north.
Yes. We've already had some run-ins with some desperate goblin kin and their allies. Thank you for the warning. Are they attacking the road?
We ran into some wargs, but no. I'm talking like you know. We've run into some wargs, but no goblins.
Wargs. Anywhere they go, goblins are sure to be nearby. Good to know. We might send out some patrols. How far are they? How far away was this? A day and a half.
Tell them.
Yeah. Well, I must say it is interesting to see. Is there something going on in your homelands? You're not the first Dragonborn to come through here.
We've been having bad dreams.
No, you're not. A rather large caravan came into town recently, headed by your kin, I would say. I don't know much about you. I don't want to seem rude.
I was to say, it would be too much to ask what coin they had stuck in their scale, but...
Or if they, you could ask if they had adornments, so you could try to figure out what clan.
Because it would be marked by something
Right.
if this guy paid attention.
You guys asked
I
that.
would say we would definitely be asking that immediately, like identify markers.
No, I didn't notice any piercings or adornments.
What color were they?
There was a blue, a green,
That's our reaction.
and a black.
Blue?
A blue?
Yeah.
A blue, green, and a black.
I was not on duty, but it was talked about in my presence. You may have better luck inquiring within. Any guard you see should be forthcoming. And of course, if you're going to the Three Scholars, well, discussion is aplenty there.
They
Well,
might
thank
have been
you.
trying to cover their clan tracks if they weren't marked.
Or they could not be from Tyner. Tymenther. They might not be from Tymenther.
See a blue, a black, and what?
Green.
So the Three Scholar, you probably came in on the tail end of it. They just met they don't really know what they're doing here. They got sent here by a diviner.
Story of my life.
All right. They know that there's something in this big mountain that they might need to find. But this town, they were told to like come here before they go. While they were on the road, they saved an old man and his horse from wargs. And the old man had been to Shade Rest, and he told them that they should go see the Three Scholars house, which is a tap room. It's a brewery, distillery, tap room, run by three dudes. So,
Presumably scholars.
presumably.
I don't know, it's a Gooseberry line.
So that's the only real, like, they have no idea why they're really here, and that's the only reference they've heard so far of a direction to take while they were here. So,
Yeah. It's almost embarrassing when people ask what we do.
We don't know.
We're workshopping.
we're on
that
a
at
mission
the
from
moment.
Gad.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
Alright. As you make your way into the town, unless you have anything else to ask the guard in particular,
I think he's been more than helpful.
there's a couple hawkers, there's a couple folks trying to get you here's and there's. You learn that there are 4 inns, 2 breweries, and a meadery all in this small town.
Whoa.
Can we just stay here?
All right.
Yeah, right? 4 inns? I'm sorry.
4 inns, 2 breweries, and a meadery.
I had a mystical dream about this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on another holy quest.
Each of them, of course, have people out trying to get travelers to go to their establishment. And this is like a truck stop. This place is only funded by travelers staying here because like it's the only place to stay between when you leave the Sword Coast and the what's that kingdoms? The Alliance, Lord's Alliance.
Oh, the Lord's
When you leave the
Alliance,
land of the Lord's Alliance till you get to the kingdoms of the Dales or the Inner Sea, there's nothing here. So like this is like the one except for this. So it does real well,
But it
but
sounds like they try to get travelers sloshed enough that they can't leave right away. It's a lot of.
so
Or you've been on the road
Or
fought
just-
by wargs for
just
2
so many
weeks,
people.
yeah.
They have to. There's so much overflow. You have to have that many places to stay. So of the inns, there's the Shady Rest, which people say, or the hawkers tell you, is the most comfortable, the oldest, the first, and the best of the inns. There's the Silver Road, which, like, the hawkers for that are, like, wearing nice outfits. And, like, you look like folks of upstanding taste and quality. You must see the Silvery Road.
Sounds expensive.
The Silver Road. The greatest entertainment, the most private of quarters, the coziest of environments, the best food. Then there's the Dancing Maid, which has some bawdy ladies trying to like, come on to the Dancing Maid. Ooh, you a big strong one.
Scaly, too.
And then lastly, you hear about the Rising Flame. You don't hear much about that.
Don't worry about that.
Otherwise,
Something
of the other 2 things, you don't. No one's hawking for the 3 scholars.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not one of the 4 inns, man.
It's not an inn. It is just a bar,
Oh.
brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of the 2 breweries. Then?
Yep. Stone's Throw is the other one. Oh, the strongest ale. Spirits that'll poke your eye out. Come to the stone's throw.
That doesn't sound appeasing at all.
I'm intrigued.
And lastly, no one's really hawking about the last one either. It's called the Honeybee Sting, though. You pass by it. It's like it looks like a huge garden and like flowers and lattice works. Most of it is outdoors, but it's kind of like just a pavilion open area, and it's a meadery. It's where apparently there's a lot of honey that comes from the locals in this area, and it gets brought here to be turned into mead.
Neat.
So, you're making your way towards the Three Scholars?
Yes.
We can
Yeah.
stop it. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I
I'm the
mean,
drunken sailor.
Dice Truck
nighttime
does suggest, like, instead of going straight to the Three Scholars, is try to find out information about the Three Scholars before you go, because there isn't any hawkers for it,
Actually,
which is
I
kind of
like
odd.
that idea. Stone's Throw. It's the other brewery. They would
Poke your eye.
Yeah, I mean, they'd probably. That's the competition. They would probably hear something about something.
So you want to go to the Stone's Throw
Let's go to
before the?
Really.
What do you?
You can split the.
I mean, you're the he can command the party.
I know he's like our dad.
Yeah.
Like, we
So,
wanna go to
what
the
do you wanna
Stone's
do?
Throw, Dad.
He's got his 2 lieutenants who are like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this.
Well, we can go to the stone throw. That's fine.
All right. So going to the Stone's Throw.
They teach you how to high five.
It is. It's a pretty big establishment. It's on the corner and it's built like a barn. It looks sturdy.
Is it literally a barn?
It's built like one. So it's on a corner. Huge double doors are on the corner, but above it there's 2 doors that are open, like you would see above a barn door, like to raise up the hay and all that stuff. The two main doors are open, and the 2 barn doors up top are also open. As you're walking up, you notice in the road outside, at various areas, just out in the dirt, impacted in the road, are stones.
Yes.
And these stones are painted with like different markings, like different colors and stripes, and they're embedded into the dirt, like pushed down into the dirt. Looks like purposefully. So, and as you walk in, there's 2 huge staircases on the left and right. Like you're coming in underneath them, and you're underneath the second story or the second area, which overlooks into the first area. So again, kind of like a barn, kind of like that mezzanine style open area up top.
Neat.
This place is pretty rowdy. There's dwarven maids handing out like just with the big tin steins in a hand, going out. Just there's a old dwarven man and woman behind the bar, just huge casks of barrels, like all along one side in the back corner, with various different brews. And you see that like they even have step ladders because the barrels are stacked on each other, so they have to get like step ladders to get the higher different ones. All told, probably 12 of those massive kegs of ales stacked up there.
Pour. I'm gonna do it by one.
There's several bards. They're doing loud, rambunctious, dancey music. Tables are pushed to the side. People are, kind of barnyard dancing, hook and going back and forth. Watch for he's right there. Watch for the pickpockets. So yeah, this is the Stone's Throw. It seems that the staff is almost exclusively dwarven.
What a merry bunch of people. We don't have a lot of like this rambunctious kind of dancing and stuff where we're from, huh?
Unless you go down to the docks.
Yeah.
So you guys want to pull up to the bar? You want to try to find a table? You want to go upstairs, downstairs?
I want to go up to the bar because I want to inquire about the place and the game and the dancing and stuff. So
all right.
I've actually kind of forgotten about the quest for a moment.
We can do that at the
We've been on the road for a while.
So head up to the bar where you can talk to the bartender.
Sit at the table. I'm going to the bar.
Let's go to the bar.
All right. You guys all saddle up to the bar.
This is so short.
I know, right?
You sit down. The dwarven woman comes up and says, "What can I pour you?"
Slooseberry wine for my fellows and I. Oh, we're in the wrong place.
She turns and she goes down to the end and opens up a cabinet and pulls out a bottle and shuts the cabinet back. Puts
dick.
she grabs like the smallest tankard possible.
Oh, I want that eye pokey thing.
And she gives you a small tankard of something. It smells delicious. She plugs that back up and like puts it underneath the bar.
That's what I got. The Salisbury wine.
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah. I ordered one for everybody.
Oh, you did?
Did you?
Okay. I was going to it like,
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, she'll pour all.
We'll grouse over it. No, we don't worry about that. He wants the eye pokey wine. Or the ale, strong.
The spirits?
That's what I said. I heard there's something that was an eye poker.
Oh, all right.
He wishes to do battle against your liquor.
Good.
Mage armor.
Shield of faith.
Yeah. Lay on hands, cure poison. I'm fine.
It's like she looks you up and down. She's like, "You might be able to take it. You want a shot or you want a slug?"
What's a slug?
She pulls out like basically a bucket glass, like a shot glass. A slug is a bucket glass.
I'm 7 feet tall. Give me the slug.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right. So she goes over and she goes to a smaller, like metal barreled keg and pours it, and you see this thick, clear liquid. Like it almost comes out a little bit syrupy.
It's like this clear gelatin.
Like clear, like it's not like super thick, but like you can see where it starts. Like it's a full dollop. This is vodka on steroids type stuff. Like
okay.
I regret my choice.
Yeah.
Here I ask.
Yeah. And she'll take it. She's like, 1 stone syrup.
Right. How about you, my lord? You want to try one of these with me?
I think I'll stick to a regular old ale. Thank you very much.
Right? She gives you a choice of like 4 or 5 different types, but she narrows it down pretty quickly when it seems like you're not A, that picky, or B, that educated on ales. So
I just like to think that they put like a they fit a gelatinous cube into a keg, and
that's what they're doing.
It's just like this is
Oh my god. There was a Reddit username the other day that got me so good. It was a Cthulhu Lube Flavor Cube.
Cthulhu Lube Flavor Cube. If you're out there.
Very slow, like.
So, did Yasa will take that Salisbury?
No, I ordered it. I'm going to drink it.
So, she orders. She's been looking at the kegs and like seeing their banners, and she just picks one based off name. So she gets something. But yeah, that is like.
Although I do watch you drink here.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm watching him maintain this. I'll get a little breath weapon on it. Does it light up on fire?
Yeah, don't do that.
It is cold, and like there's no like cooling elements here. It feels cooler than other things around it. It also tastes very minerally, like mineral water, like that. Just like filled with them, but it is pretty much like straight vodka, just mineral vodka, like
like crystallized vodka.
it's vodka distilled from the sluice,
right?
Which is super mineral rich water. So, and who knows what else they do to it.
I like to think it's like harking like awakening things from draconic origins, because I think dragons eat gemstones and stuff like that. So this kind of feels like I don't know why, but it just feels right to me.
The stuff will give you the trots. Be careful.
The trots. Yeah.
How does the sluice wine?
The sluice wine, it's in a tankard. They give it to you in a tankard. It is probably the best tasting drink you have ever had in your life.
Really?
It is.
This tastes like rocks.
Like a little bit boysenberry. Again, it has that kind of a minerally back, plus that slight meaty sting.
That makes my scales purple.
It is. It's fucking delicious.
Why is she mad about that?
Because it's not hers.
What's ours?
Sleuthberry is made by the Three Scholars.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the rival.
So you came into Stone's Throw and asked for a Three Scholars
We came here to
drink.
see, like, what do they know about the competition? You're like, well, I don't know. It's order their alcohol and find out.
All right, so you guys all get served your
Clearly she
your
doesn't
various
speak
alcohols.
thieves cans. That was
Oh,
that
Dice
was a
Chuck.
test.
I'll have to say, Dice Truck, is that one of my favorite pastimes as a GM is coming up with the food and drink at inns and throughout the world. It's just something I love doing.
It's good. So it makes me hungry.
All right.
I'm thirsty. Oh, I want some Sleuthberry wine. Have you ever had anything? Is that you have a real world?
No,
Sounds amazing.
Like, there's a flavor that's kind of like coalesces in my head when I think about it, but I couldn't explain
It's
it.
slow berry. It's what slow gin is.
Boysenberry.
Like
What's
tart kind of thing?
What's that liqueur that's like? Oh, never mind.
Slow gin?
No. I don't know.
We call them remedial gin.
Oh,
Sorry.
Right.
got my little pinky gloves.
Differential gin.
So you get your drinks.
Yeah.
It's going to be. Like,
Oh,
let's
right.
call it.
Money.
Let's call it 2 gold for the lot.
I got it this time. I don't pay
But
for
before she goes, I'm sure you want to ask some questions. So ask away.
I'm just kidding.
yeah. I'm feeling fine after this.
I give her the. Oh, not East Rock. I was like, I give her the East Rock.
Okay, I'm curious. Surely the place so close to the shade of the Pinion, you must have some stories about this magnificent rock looming
Do
over
I
your
have
home.
stories?
Yes,
And my name's not Shirley.
that's a human name. But you're a dwarf.
I am, and you're a Dragonborn.
I am. This is great. I'll take another.
What else to say? I'm curious now. I want one too.
You want a stone syrup?
Yes.
I want.
You want a Sleuthberry?
We're
I'll
gonna
save
leave
this
this bar broke.
broken, drunk, and wondering what happened.
All right. Any specific questions, or do you want her just to start regaling you with stories of?
I'm curious
The shade.
about the colored rocks up front beneath the loft.
Oh, well, she kind of points off to the side and says, a wooden sign carved, and it says, "Absolutely no fighting. Keep it civil."
That just raises more questions.
Well,
Those are your no fighting stones.
she points back. Well, first off, she points at her apron, and you see that her apron has like a color pattern on it. Like, it was woven with a certain color pattern. And she'll point at everyone else, like all the servers, all the bartenders, all the barmaids, and you see that everyone is wearing a different color. Like, they'll have like something, a color scheme on them, and you start to see matching ones to the stones outside. Like, yeah, if you start a fight, we take you upstairs and see how far we can throw you out into the street. And we mark our
Come on, let's make the humans fight each other. I want to throw one.
Your mother, Alex.
No, you don't get to throw people.
Let's see.
Despite the
We haven't thrown many Dragonborn.
You want to try? I like to see you heft me. I'm being soldierly. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Yes, it was a lewd joke.
so we rallied together. Go live!
Go
Throw
on.
Rofras from the loft. Yeah.
All right, so she yells out.
Oh, is this happening?
If you want it to happen,
I
he
was
seems to want it to happen.
Oh yeah.
I'm pinging coppers at her.
I need another drink before this.
And we normally don't encourage being thrown, but we'll oblige you. You just can't come back in ever. If you do,
Ever.
No.
It's such a fine place. Where would we go? The Three Scholars.
You could. You already ordered from them.
Yeah. Well, we heard about them.
Is
What
there
do you know?
There's someone else asked about the Three Scholars.
We heard the name from the south. What can you tell us
Tinkers and
about them?
alchemists, not true brewers like we are.
Tinkers and alchemists. Is this some sort of?
It's just a pastime for them.
Well,
This is true craftsmanship. And she hits the kegs behind her.
interesting. Well,
But they do make some good stuff.
if it means I can't come back here, I would have to regretfully decline seeing you
I tried to
throw
get
me
my
out a
copper
window.
coin out of her tip jar that I gave her.
You pull the coin out. That's gonna come you too. How about you, Savard? You want to be thrown out of the window, my lord?
We've had too much to drink.
We're tourists.
Anything else going on?
What can you tell us of the owners of the 3 scholars?
Oh, they were travelers or some such. Decided to retire here because they liked it so much. Started, like I said, tinkering with brews and spirits and putting flavors and honeys and syrups and who knows what else into their
Humans.
concoctions. Oh yeah, 3 humans.
And we've heard there are Dragonborn that have made it through this town recently. Are you aware of them? Seen them?
I haven't seen them in here. I've heard some of the guards talking about a large caravan headed by your kind.
What do the guards drink, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it depends. Wherever they can get it cheap.
Where's cheap?
Never ask a bartender that.
The Rising Flame.
Oh, that's the one place we didn't hear about.
Well, we didn't hear about the 3 scholars either.
You didn't hear about 3 scholars, and you didn't hear much about the Rising Flame.
Is there a reason that there are no hawkers outside of the 3 scholars?
They're
More of a word of mouth sort of place.
a locals place.
Sounds a bit esoteric, really. That's a big word. I learned that word from Iyasa on the way up here.
Ping the copper back. You've re-earned it. I guess I better break that down. Copper's 10.
10 silver make... Or sorry, 1 silver makes 10 copper.
I'll get drinks to the next place.
100 copper make 1 gold.
So I have 8 gold, so now I break it down to...
Take 1 gold out, break it down to 9 silver and 9 copper.
Gotcha. I was trying to break it into electrum as well with this unnecessary.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I see that now that it's completely unnecessary. Yeah. That's what got me.
Huh?
Alright. That's the poorest I've ever been with a thief.
Don't suppose you've heard any... Freaking Dragonborn. You haven't heard of news of any red drakes around this land, have you?
Drakes?
Yes, fearsome creatures.
Gosh,
breathe
no.
fire.
Are you bringing drakes to our doorstep?
No, yeah. I actually... Oh, sorry, no.
Goblins about the most dangerous things we get here. Every once in a while, a drunken giant will come down from the hills.
Really? And do what?
Whatever it pleases, really.
Who's a talent giant? No, right? Wow, real giants. I love this place.
There's one stone
A
that's out front.
hawker are people that stand outside of buildings and try to get you to come in. Like, if you ever see those old films or go to a big city.
Step right up, see the
Come on in, we get the finest drinks and finest this.
One penny, never see it anywhere else, only here.
They hawk their
I
wares.
guess it'd be like one stone outside the place that's blue, and after someone pushed the giant out of the loft.
Medieval pop-up ads is what they are.
That's a good way to put it.
Like Austin,
ad block.
Austin's Austin's 4th Street had so many bars. Like it's just bar after bar after bar for
I hear that.
6-7 blocks. Austin.
Oh,
They all had 2, like the bouncer and a hawker outside, just telling you their specials, trying to get you in. Like
Oh, man.
they all had a musician. They all had something. They ordered like
that's cool.
the cheapest Jack Daniels or the cheapest this beer. We got this one special, that one special. Like it was crazy to see.
I think we've gotten all we're going to get from.
Tell me more of this Austin.
Austin. So yeah, she's got other customers to attend to, and this place is pretty
Right.
rowdy.
Alright, well, I think we've got what we... Doesn't sound like there's anything...
Anything you want to ask me?
Head into the 3 scholars.
Yeah. There wasn't anything like, oh, we don't talk about the 3 scholars here, so I don't know what else we could have possibly
It's just
wanted to
competition.
get out of it.
Like they're both in the craft of making drinks. of making beverages, libations, and the dwarves take their stuff really seriously. So,
So let's finish our drinks and head to...
head to 3 scholars. All right, so you both had... You had 2 stone syrups,
Oh, I had another one. That's right.
and you had a stone syrup and a slooseberry
I
wine.
paid for all of our first drinks, but we have to pay for the 2 more.
1
syrups.
gold for the 2 more.
I'll get drinks at the 3, whatever.
3 scholars.
And
So,
what's gonna happen? We don't spend money on anything. The first time we see a bar, we're like,
how long-
ching! Like
Yeah.
$4, like 4 gold immediately.
So,
Feeling
yeah,
pretty
you just had the
full
1 beer. You also just had the 1 beer. All right. So you two. You know, I mean, you got constitutions. You're a sailor, so that's
Soldier,
pretty much
sailor,
nothing.
Drink makers.
so you head to the 3 scholars.
It's quieter in here.
It is definitely the 3 scholars is a small, like much smaller, much more exclusive. It has the 3 scholars like written outside, but there's like the door's not open. There's not like a bouncer sitting there. You open it
lights
up. Yeah. You walk in and there's a small hearth on one side. It's lit, you know, casting its glow. There's a couple lanterns, but this place is much narrower. Has a little L-shaped bar, a back room. The chairs are all really nicely wooden carved and upholstered. There's bookshelves all around the walls filled with books. You could just reach up, go over and pull one out, start reading if you want. There's a couple games out there, some chess sets and dragon chess and cups for dice and things like that, just strewn about. There's there's a musician here, but it's like that, just background, like slow, quiet string instrument, just a background noise. At one end of the bar, there's a man who's in comfortable, fairly nice, sturdy clothes. He's got spectacles on, which might be the first time you've seen such adornments. He's a human, tousled brown hair, and he's got like 4 or 5 books that he's like got open up around him, and a sheaf of parchments with an ink quill set. Behind the bar is a thick, just tree of a man. He's showing his age. All of these have kind of like grayish hair. Like the guy at the end, this guy has grayed hair. He used to probably just be a mince, super, like just a strong dude, and now he's, you know, well into his retirement and has let the physique fall away a bit. But he's got a, like, when you guys enter in, he has got a big smile on his face, and he, like, cigar, like, fingers, waves his hands, and, welcome, come in.
We come
Went
in.
by and it was around.
Yeah.
I'll order a loose wine because this is where I was supposed to get it, and it was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. This is, travel from the south. This is Lord Savroth of our clan, Goldath.
Goldath, I've heard of you.
We ran into an older
Ah.
gentleman, Marduk, who suggested this place to us.
Don't know if I know a Marduk. Name doesn't sound familiar.
You seem to know your wine.
Well, you know a Marduk? I know a Marduk. Marduk? Wasn't Marduk?
I couldn't tell you. It sounded like there's 2 U's in it, but I could be wrong.
Marduk.
Marduk.
May not have been the same person. Goes back to scribbling.
Had a horse.
He goes,
Golden name.
Ty! You know a Marduk? A guy pops his head in from the back room. Who? He looks like a tall, lanky fellow. The wry grin.
It's like the keyboard elves.
Ah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Nope. Unless he owes me money.
He owes money.
Yeah, right.
How about we back up a little bit? You said you've heard of Goldath?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's important. Yes.
Of course. I mean,
Thank you, fellow.
We've been drinking.
we've traveled all over these lands, but tell you 9 times out of 10 when you see a Dragonborn out of Timenther, it's a Goldath. And I see from your scales that you're fairly new to this adventuring world.
Sick burn, brah.
What brings you up this far?
We've been having bad dreams.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
no.
Of course I did.
Perseverance.
Well, you gotta have it if you want to. If you want to inscribe anything more upon them,
Screw off.
if you upon your scales, that's the way to do it.
If clan business to seek out and witness this opinion seems important to clan business. Yes.
Clan business to check out the opinion because it's important to clan business.
Is it now?
It's pertinent.
Do you yourself know anything special about this?
The stupid fucking rock and
This rock mountain.
Will, you want to take this one? Yep. He shuts his books, stacks his sheafs. He comes over. It's like, get him around on me. So he'll pull up a stool next to yours or sit at a table next to the bar if you guys want to do that.
Sure.
The
Festival.
man behind the bar, whose name is Rick, or he asks as Rick, like just kind of leans on the bar to hear this story as well. The man that was in the back comes in and out a couple times. He comes out and puts down a bowl of some type of snack in front of you. It looks like crackers and it looks like small bread pieces, like a snack mix with some type of dusting of seasoning on it. He goes, try this. And he walks off and is around.
Yeah, right.
But Will,
Huge or something.
Will begin. He's like, well, for the humans, they have the simplest folklore when it comes to the opinion. Said that a piece of the heavens, or a star, crashed down to Earth. Some say it fell from south to north, and that the sluice was dug out as it struck, and the rock and earth that it cast forth became the mountain range to the north. Others say it impacted southward, and that the Forest Scar mountains are literally the scar where it dug through. Not much to help you on there. Now, the dwarves have a different tale of it. And they call the tale, or in their language, the tail stake. As they tell it, in the primordial age, when the dwarven gods were still forging the world, a great beast roamed the darkness. With a forge fire torch and a mighty hammer, Moradin himself set off to hunt the beast, so he could let the earth cool and his sons and daughters wouldn't be hunted by this creature. When he found the creature, he cast it in the light, and when it turned to flee, Moradin caught its tail and hammered a great stake through it to pin it to the ground, where it eventually starved and died, and its bones created the Forest Scar Mountains to the north of it.
Whoa.
Now the elves, the translation of Elvish to this and how their myths work, it's not going to sound too great. But theirs is the most in-depth and convoluted. So in the Elven history, they reach back to once great kingdom of Mithranor and Shadowdale. And the elves state that there was no mountain range in their days, and that their great wood stretched all the way from Mithranor to the Sword Coast. Then a great dragon tyrant descended on their lands, laying all to waste. Nothing could stand against this dread worm. The elves marshaled forces and formed a line at the western edge of their great kingdom to make a final stand. The beast scorched the defenders with such ferocity that the very earth buckled and rose, forming the mountain range that stands today. At the very end of the line, a young defender stood against the beast, undeterred, and called to the heavens to strike low the tyrant. At which time, a god, I don't know which one, was so moved by the soldier's bravery that he cast down a spear, piercing the heart of the dragon and ending its reign of fire. The pinion in the Elven language is called the God's Spear, and they hold that it is a shard of mithril that holds the heart of the tyrant to this earth.
Some similarities between the Elven and the Dwarven tale.
Now, all of this is kind of odd that there's so many myths going so far back, because from our studies, the pinion didn't come until Aber and Toril merged, which was in the Second Sundering. But yet, somehow, pervasive through the collective memories of all the communities around this area, these myths have seemingly always been there.
That's actually quite a fascinating tale.
Does any of that mean anything to you, Sabra?
Well, didn't...
I know that there are some
Turn.
sects,
What do you know about that book?
some elves, that do say that it is Bahamut that cast down the spear to slay the tyrant.
That is this weapon he is known for.
It's like that.
Which is probably the most pertinent to you.
Right. That is something I do know about. Nice Bahamut.
Tyrant, huh?
Again, almost none of these myths are the entire truths, though many of them aren't entirely falsehoods either.
It just seems strange that the dwarves and the elves would have common concepts of striking a beast down with this pinion. I don't know much about either of them, but I'm told that they are not ones that are very much like the other. They're very different.
Knowing it's a weapon of Bahamut, maybe we should go see it ourselves. Touch it, smell it, taste it, glean some knowledge of our own from it.
Well, from what we've heard, you may not be the first Dragonborn to come through here
So at least
seeking such
We're
tales.
chosen. Shit.
we've heard of 3 coming through here. I was meaning to ask the guard about them, and it's not that it's anything. Not that we have any suspicions with it or anything, but it's just so unusual to hear of other Dragonborn. These do not sound of our clan.
You guys
You
did
said they were
not-
seeking the... Oh, sorry.
No, I just say you guys did not see these Dragonborn within your establishment here.
1 second.
Do not hold your finger up towards Sabra.
Bite it off.
An old gentleman that's been sitting in a corner listening, because Will has been talking loud enough for pretty much everyone to hear, as it seems to be like this place is, if something's being discussed, it's for everyone in the place, so that everyone can chime in on. A place of discussion and knowledge and learning, and sharing, and feeling, touching. Take off your clothes. Oh, no.
Is that a beanbag?
This man says, I laid eyes on this Dragonborn myself. Once they came in, had my guards up in a tizzy talking about them. He is in the colors of the guard of the Shade Watch, but he is not in armor. But he does carry a sword.
Okay.
My name is Octavian Locke. I'm the head of the Shade Watch here. So I went and set eyes upon him myself. And they weren't like you. They weren't like other Dragonborn I've seen either.
No.
No,
Please go.
you can ask him that.
So, in what way? What do you mean?
Yeah, so you're not going to ask your original question?
How many Dragonborn have you seen?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds.
You make excellent caravan guards.
That's true. We are pretty good at being
I mean,
like that.
We high five awkwardly.
Yeah.
people seek out your services from all around. No, like the black. He looked more like a skink. He had a long neck. Slithered around, almost walked on all fours. The blue had massive jaw, claws. It even seemed like she might have had vestigial wings.
I've got rid of 3 scholars. I'm like, this guy said vestigial?
Yeah.
And the green?
The green, he was the biggest of the 3. A brute it was. Could almost confuse it with a lizard man, except for the ridges and scales and horns. They looked more like dragonlings than dragonborn.
How long ago was it that you saw these?
Oh, Migard told me today that they left out of the north gate, which is odd. There ain't only one thing but up there. That's the pinion. They left this night, they did.
It was very nice.
Yeah. Right before sundown.
Maybe other Dragonborn are having the same dream as you.
This is possible, but these 3 don't seem like us.
Now, if they took the cup, they may want the spear as well.
Yasa says that.
Yep.
Well, shit, we need rest, but they've left out already.
We're good on the rest.
Are we?
Yeah.
I thought we got here the night.
You got here at night, but you had rested the day before from your battle, so...
We could set out in the dark if we wanted to make time.
That sounds important. And I awkwardly look. I don't know how to quite explain it, but this is very helpful and relevant to this pilgrimage we are taking up north. Thank you. We should set out. I have rough prices getting visibly added
After a long, weird moan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think, Simon?
Well, how does everyone feel about setting out this night?
I think it's an absolute imperative that we do.
I've learned Ayasa seems to know what she's speaking about.
The darkness is not our friend, but I believe it's theirs.
Yes, but if they've come into the night and taken what there's to be had, that's important, and then leave off to hide from the day, where does that put us?
On the chase.
On the chase.
We could either start half a day behind them, or we can get up tomorrow and be a full day and a half behind them.
We have horses.
We do it.
Do you know if they had horses? I asked her.
They had a whole caravan.
Yeah, whole caravan.
At least 4 carts.
Caravans are slow though. We could ride
If
quickly.
they left
We could catch up with them.
That's pretty much like just 3 to 4 hours ago. Depending on what their sundown is and all that.
We can make time on our horses and catch them quickly.
Yeah, on second thought, it might be best to heed Ayasa's advice here. Maybe we should rest
The witch.
for
What?
the evening.
It's not the witch.
No.
Not a witch on my wife. After hearing that, I don't want to be that anymore.
Are you certain, my lord? We could chase them down and subdue them, bring them into questioning. It's important.
Well, I believe traveling in the day would be best, and we do know they are traveling a large caravan. They won't be able to travel as fast as we should be able to. We can make up time.
That is wise.
Octavian was like, I hear you're making plans. I must warn you then. They numbered at least 20 strong.
20. Oh, maybe we should.
Were there other ones that looked like these 3 with them?
At least 6 were Dragonborn, but those 3 that I described, they were in command.
They look different from the rest.
Didn't really get good looks at the others.
Oh, yeah.
But we could always rest while we think of a plan as well. Makes sense.
Will's like, I'll get the map. He gets up and goes and grabs something from a shelf and pulls it down. And like it's a fairly well detailed map of the area. And it's like, here's the sluice and here's the mountain. Like, so you can look at what you might be going after. So that's pretty much like what it is. Like there's the mountain just starts coming out of the ground, essentially, and up into the things. There's some pretty hefty foothills that have been stuck up in and around there. So it's like getting to the edge of the sluice, the banks of the lake. You'll have complete cover if they're at the banks. The hills are pretty well built up. There's several pathways that cut through the foothills that they'll have to take with their caravan.
Is it like a crater? Is that what we're kind of like?
It's like if a crater was
right. Yeah. I mean, does it look like this a bit? Hey?
But it's as if a crater happened a million years ago.
Right.
So everything is now settled and eroded and built back up on all that.
Caldera. Wow.
But like the sluice is pretty much a huge lake that hugs the southern edge of the entirety of the Pinion, and it comes out pretty far. It's a big lake, and pretty much everything to the north of that or around the sides starts to get into the mountain range. So if you want to get up to the Pinion itself, you've got to go over water or climb a mountain.
Are there this place seems pretty famous to this town? Are there people that are there fishermen in this lake? Are there people with boats and?
I mean, there's people that go out there fishing and boating. There's not like a community that really lives up there. They'll tell you like they go up there constantly to harvest sluice berries, which grow on the banks. But like it doesn't have an abundance of fish. Normally, only after the winter, like when the mountains thaw and there's a nice water flow throughout the entire mountains, it'll bring down fish who get stuck into here and then make their way to the sea. But it doesn't really have a natural population of fish, and it's such mineral heavy that not a whole lot of fish can survive there all the time.
Right.
Other than that, like people have gone up to the Pinion on boats, like, but you can't mine it, you can't break it, you can't do anything with it.
You can't.
So there's not like a whole bunch of people studying it or trying to see if there's caves or anything like that.
Are the pilgrims? Is it a religious thing for these?
Nope, it's just a story for them. Like, that's what that there's for.
Huh.
Again, like, there's no one really in this area. There's dwarven miners up in the Forest Scar Hills, or mountains. The Dalelanders can come this way to get their farm, to farm and do that stuff, but it's a very interesting monument, but so far remote and out of the way, and you can't do anything with it, that people made their stories with it and leave it alone.
Let's ask him, do you guys have a suggestion on a inn to stay at for the night?
It's like, well, it depends on how much privacy you want. Shady Rest is as good as any, but if you want privacy and relaxation and comfort, the Silver Road is worth its price tag.
Alright, and besides this caravan being 20 strong is talking to this guy.
Octavian.
Yeah. Do any of you know of anything else to beware of at the base of the Pinion?
Not much goes up there. Like, if I could, I'd spare soldiers, but with the goblins coming up north, there's only, 70 of us to protect the town.
Well, that is fair. We wouldn't ask for your help in this situation anyway. This is our task. But I do appreciate it.
There he goes, shaking hands again. If you can, if you see signs of ne'er-do-wells, of illicit, illegal, or dangerous happenings, then we'd have no choice but to send men. So, if these people are threatening our way of life here in the shade, you can come back and we'll...
Well, we don't know what to suspect of their intentions, but I'm certain if should it be ill-inclined, we will, of course, warn you all.
Alright. Well, good luck.
Thank you. I would like a bottle of this sluice.
You getting a bottle?
Yeah.
5 gold.
Yeah.
That's like all your gold.
I know, I don't have that much.
You don't even have $5.
No, I don't know. Where's my darn gold?
Should be on the...
You might have to look on this thing.
Ah, yeah, here it is.
Oh yeah, you guys were loaded.
No.
He's got like the least out of the
That
all.
takes me.
think
And
he
I got
also has
drinks
the most.
here tonight. That's a pen.
No, the Will bought the first round. So
Oh. Well, thanks, Will.
since you asked him to explain us some stories, and he likes to do
okay.
that. So
Cool. I feel validated for buying a bottle of. All right, that leaves me with 3 gold.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So you guys are gonna go stay at the Silver Road or the Shady Rest?
I'm kind of feeling the Shady Rest. I don't know
The
about.
Silver Road. Should we not have privacy? We might.
We're getting low on funds.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
I'm getting
You were
there
buying
too.
drinks and willy-nilly earlier.
I know. Now I'm low in cash.
He's not
Easter, no Easter egg.
Easter.
No, he's no Easter. I thought Easter was poor as dirt as well. I was just wrong.
I don't really plan on us being. I mean, obviously we're gonna sleep, but that's more or less it. I want to get up at sun's up and
I don't like the sounds of this.
get out there. So privacy and extra comfort, not really concerned right now. Like we got shit to do.
I'm glad you, my lord. There was something extra wrong about that Drake we encountered, and hearing about this so soon after, I have a bad feeling. We should get some rest.
The Shady Rest was the first and oldest of the inns, run by the Goodwell family. The inn has a large common room with 2 great hearths. It is mostly open affair where the cooking takes place out in the common room hearths. And you can pay a silver to sleep on the common room floor. The Goodwells are a large family and all know how to cook, play an instrument, and sing. You can pay the silver to sleep in the main common room over the night, or you can pay 8 silver for a room that can accommodate 2.
It was a silver for one? Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
A silver to sleep on the floor.
Oh,
in the
silver
main-
to sleep on the floor.
Or 8 silver for a room that can accommodate 2.
I'll sleep on the floor.
You're really not about sending money up to the bar, are you?
I feel so much poorer than Easter egg.
You are.
I know, right?
8 silver for the... Darn it. For 2?
For a room that can accommodate 2.
Alright, I'll chip another gold for it. We'll get 2 rooms.
2 rooms?
Oh wait, no, hold on, I got that mixed up wrong.
Oh.
Well, just spend the 8 silver. Yasa will buy another room for 8 silver, and you can stay with her.
Gosh, you guys are laughing now, but later when we need money and I have it, it'll be worth it.
That gives me 6, so that's 9 silver.
Don't
2
worry
gold
about
and 9 silver.
my money.
Oh boy. Holy quests don't pay well, guys.
Yeah. No, they don't. All right.
We haven't gone
So-
on any.
Yeah, we haven't done anything lucrative yet.
Yeah.
You guys get your meals, eat your food, probably go to sleep early because you want to strike out as early as possible.
Yeah.
So it is quitting time here. Our stream's coming to an end.
Is it?
It is 11:53.
Easy Pete. Alright.
We will be here next week on the Wileyverse as our group sets off to their destiny, or at least to go get killed at the base of a big mountain.
Ripped apart by 20 Dragonborn. Yeah. Sounds great.
I feel like that total party kill was great for you, so now you're like, I wonder if I can do it again.
yeah.
Hey guys!
We did 2
So yeah, they'll be going off to the Pinion and the sluice at its base and trying to find out what this caravan of odd Dragonborn are.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Chuck.
Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the conversation. I don't know if you're still here, but
yeah,
we appreciate having you.
we do.
Next week, same time. That is 9 to midnight Arizona time, which currently is Pacific.
Time. Yeah. When does that change? I feel like I keep asking this.
changes. We never change.
We never change, but
so
it will change to
We won't be
Mountain
Pacific
time.
anymore.
Uh,
we'll be matched with Central Time. I think
It's in October. It's like the week before Halloween, isn't it?
Whenever they do daylight
I thought it was
savings time,
November.
and then it's
Was it
not.
November? Could be.
Pretty sure it was November and March, but
I always feel like it's right around Halloween time that the
Feels like that.
November November 4th.
4th.
November 4th. Okay.
All right, but right now we're on Pacific time, 9 to midnight, every Wednesday here, continuing the Dragonborn Salvation quest.
Yes.
See you next week.
See ya.